Hey guys, and welcome back to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. It's a new day. We had a little bit of a break, but we're back with the action. My name is Apollonia. I'll be your host for today, and joining me on the analyst desk is Analyst Assassin, Analyst and Caster, CA. CA, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm really excited. Like for these two teams, especially, both of these teams are very unknown quantities, which makes today's matchup a very mysterious affair. And I want to see what comes out from each of them.
All right, how are you feeling, Assassin?
Well, definitely. I mean, the feeling's mutual, right? The thing is that both of these teams, they kind of are like, the teams that are in the shadows, but then they are proven to be behemoths before. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to seeing an exciting one.
All right, so let's pull up today's matches and we can have a look. This is the first half. It will be between Insignia and INAZUMA. So there it is, today's matchup. So it is gonna kick off pretty soon. And for the second half, there will be Tempest going up against Global Esports. So don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notifications when we're live with the second half. But never mind that. Let's focus on the first half. Let's bring up the group standings and have a quick look. Today is the first day that we're going to be moving over to Group A. So previously we had all the matches of Group B. All the standings are done there. Now for Group A, these are your teams. So you can see INAZUMA's there, Insignia, as well as Tempest and Global Esports. So let's put a little bit of focus on INAZUMA, all right, Team INAZUMA. CA, tell us what you know, what's your impression about this team?
So what we know about Team Inazuma is that they're a bunch of friends, almost former professional FPS players that have very recently shifted over to Valorant, but have done so together. So what this means is that they learned the nuances, the fundamentals of the esports aspect of Valorant together, meaning that they understand their communications much better. And given the fact that they already knew each other from before, makes their synergy that much stronger. Now, what is lacking because of their recent shift is just the likely adaptation to the meta. And that's our biggest question mark going into the series today. We know this team is supposed to have insanely good teamwork. Now, the big question is, can they take that teamwork to the next level by adapting to the right meta? We don't want to see the old meta, especially as a new team. You want to get started on the right note, not a step behind, because otherwise you might fall back. And Inazuma, that's their biggest challenge ahead. I'm sure they're up for it.
You know, that's a very valid point. That's a really good point about Inazuma. The fact that this is their first time here, mostly in a tournament by the esports club. So there are going to be quite a few expectations. I do believe, people want to see if they are going to be up to par. Assassin, what are your thoughts?
Well, definitely. I mean, see, as Sia did put it, right? Inazuma are a bunch of former professionals who have, showcased their talent as well in another game. But then I guess in Valorant, we are yet to see their force in action. At the same time, I guess, they do have, a lot of star fraggers in the form of Nagzara, Omkar, we've got SKVA as well. So to be completely honest, I guess with the amount of experience that all of these players bring on the board as well, from a former FPS perspective, I guess they shouldn't have a tough time in the game of Valorant as well. And in my opinion, they might just have the edge against Insignia today.
All right, let's just pull up the quick player spotlight by AMD Ryzen Radeon and have a look at which player from Team Inazuma that we will be looking at. and that is going to be SK Wow, the dedicated Omen player for the team. Now, looking at his stats, I think they look pretty good compared to a lot that we have seen. CA, your thoughts?
Yeah, and I believe these are just qualifier stats because this is his first game in the group stage. 125 kills just in the qualifiers, and it's not like it was an easy path for them, right? They had to go through very tough opposition, especially in the round of 32 to get here. So it shows that SK WoW definitely, as Assassin said, like these guys are experienced fraggers and they've brought that aim factor over into Valorant already. I do notice the fact that they're playing Omen though. So I want to see how soon they can switch up that Omen to Astra, and maybe can they even bring the Viper on board for maps in general or Icebox specifically, because I think we're heading into that first today, and without the Viper, the Icebox does get a little scary.
All right. What about you, Assassin? Thoughts on SK Wow?
Yep, SK. Wow, just look at the stats, right? The numbers speak for themselves, and I mean, 125 kills in the entirety of the qualifier shows how much potential SK Wow carries as well. And to be completely honest, the guy is not only good with his aim, but at the same time, some of the decision making coming out from the side of SK Wow, right? These guys carry a lot of experience in general, like SK Wow, Nike, Zera, Omkar. All of these guys, their decision making is definitely really good, and that sort of leads them to win off games as well against their opponents. Now the thing is that SK Wow playing that controller role. I'm also curious, just how CA said, I'm really curious to see what SK Wow is gonna do as a controller and how exactly he can adapt to better agents like Astra or even Viper. Because today the map veto is sort of very interesting, and I can't wait to see what is the composition that INAZUMA is going to be coming out with.
All right, Team Inazuma. So a bunch of players that some may be familiar with. They have been in the competitive scene for a while now. Now they're making their debut in Valorant, so that is going to be an exciting one to watch. Moving on, let's have a quick look at Team Insignia. Now, what is that they are just the new kids on the block. It's almost like, you look at the list of teams that made it through and you kind of notice, wait, Team Insignia, have we seen them? Have we heard of them? Who are they? They are the underdogs. They came in out of nowhere, and I think they're here ready to cause havoc. CA, what are your thoughts here on Insignia?
I mean, this team is such, as you said, literally the new kids on the block, completely unknown quantity, but they've already got the results in the bag to prove themselves. They beat Team Villainous in the round of 32 to get here. That's a big name because that's a team that is consistently finished top 8 in our tournaments. And for them to beat a team like that so early on without even the experience of the group stage speaks volumes about this team, I think. Honestly, very little can be said about what to expect, but what I want from them is that pure decisiveness coming out of the gate. I want them to be confident in who they
Oh, yeah.
are, because who they are is what got them here, and that confidence is what is going to help them out in the enigma, the mystery that is Group A.
Oh, right. What about you, Assassin? Thoughts on Insignia?
Well, definitely. I mean, to be completely honest, I haven't seen them play before, so I'm really looking forward to it. And what I want to see from Insignia is the fact that no matter what team that they are going to be facing off against, no matter how experienced their opponents are going to be, I just want them to, sort of get their basics right, play textbook Valorant, but at the same time, a bit of a revised edition of that specific textbook as well. And I guess if they can just get their basics right, if they can just, uh, bring it down to raw aim as well, and just put in a little bit of spice in that specific textbook play, then maybe they are going to be able to give a tough time to a team like Team Inazuma.
All right, let's have a quick look at AMD Ryzen Radiance Player Spotlight featuring Shlokazy from Team Insignia. Now, CA, looking at the stats, he is a Killjoy main. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, Shlogsy on the Killjoy reaching the player spotlight with the stats he's got, it looks pretty clean. The ACS does tell me that given the fact that it's lesser, it's actually a good thing for me seeing it on a Killjoy main, because it tells me that he's not necessarily going for the first bloods. He's playing it safe. He's willing to let his teammates do that, and then he's there for the clutch situations. And that's really important as a Killjoy player, because the most difficult part about being a Killjoy player is knowing when to really switch it up. When you need to rotate, for example, or when you need to try a different setup. The decisiveness becomes a very instrumental factor to your success. And I think Shlogzi will be showing us a lot of that coming here today, especially considering that Insignia, as we talked about earlier, picked Icebox as the first map. That Killjoy going to be a very important factor. If he can play the anchor role perfectly, then I think it might be Insignia walking it all the way through in map 1.
All right, same question to you, Assassin. Thoughts on Shloxi?
Well, definitely. I mean, being a Killjoy main and putting up the numbers as well is no joke. And I guess Slokshi, we are going to be seeing him, bring out some really, really good defense setups on the map of Icebox and whatnot. Now, I really am very curious, by the way, like, Insignia going ahead and challenging a team like INAZUMA on the map of Icebox right at the bat. Something that not a lot of teams do. And I'm really loving the confidence coming up from the side of Insignia.
All right, so it's almost like, today you have Team Inazuma, a team with so much experience, but Valorant is a different ball game. So, they're coming in, they want to score, but will they be able to do it? And then there's Insignia. Out of nowhere, they beat a team that was consistently in the top 16, top 8 in all of our tournaments. And right now, the stage is set for them to kind of just, show us what they've got. So I'm looking forward to both these teams, and I'm pretty sure that you guys are excited. Now, guys, do stay tuned. Coming up later, the casters will be CA and Aggressive. Before we do get into the match, remember to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notifications whenever we are live. Check out the links in the description, and don't forget to look out for a QR code that will pop up so that you can get your Red Bull cans. All right, so do stay tuned, and we'll be back very shortly with the match after these messages.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. I'm CA, joined by Aggressive here on the Casters desk to bring you the best of 3 matchup between Team INAZUMA and Team Insignia to start us off in our Group A Bonanza today. I'm really excited for this matchup, Aggressive. Like, I don't think we know these teams very well, so I'm excited what they've got to show. What do you think we're going to see from INAZUMA and Insignia?
Considering these two teams, it's going to be an anime battle for sure. And I'm going to make as many anime references as I possibly can. So let's head over to the map video screen because we really do need to see what the battleground for these two teams are going to be. And as you just stated, both of these teams are just shrouded in mystery. There are a lot of expectations coming down from everyone in chat loves them. And honestly speaking, both sides are getting a ton of hype. It's going to be Team INAZUMA coming on down from a different game and now here in the battlegrounds of Valorant to prove themselves that they are one of the top contenders of our region. Or it could also be the Thai side of Team Insignia, also a team there to prove themselves. And here at this stage, when both of these teams are just so new and picking up the map of Icebox at the very beginning, that's going to be a little bit of a question mark in my eyes. Will they be able to use this map proficiently? Because even seasoned teams have a lot of trouble on this map.
Absolutely. So, like for the viewers, the veto went as follows: a Split and Bind banned by Insignia, and Breeze banned by INAZUMA. Insignia picked up Icebox. INAZUMA picking up Ascent that left Haven. Now, Icebox, I feel like is, even though it's map one, I feel like it's effectively the decider map because of two factors, right? On one side, you have Team Insignia picking up Icebox early could only be because of two reasons in my head. One, they as a team are very confident on Icebox, or two, they as a team are very confident that INAZUMA are not confident on Icebox. And that's what I'm excited to see which one it is, because if you're trying to counter strat your opponents, then INAZUMA do have an ace up their sleeve, which I feel like for all of the newer players to Valorant, Icebox is actually an easier map than most because it offers you a lot more gun duels, a lot more aim battles, and that's what you really need moving from one FPS to another. So I want to see if Insignia have some pocket strats prepared. I want to see if they can really surprise INAZUMA right out of the gate.
Real question with the agent selection now coming on through. Both of these teams are opting to go in for the exact same composition. So this is going to be really interesting moving on down forward into the matchup itself. Because when you consider the strategy that they have picked up, this is a textbook-based strategy for a lot of the European-based teams. And I really like this coming out from them because primarily look at their strats. They have that Viper, they have the Killjoy, they have that Sage, they have the Jet, and of course the Sova. Now, no form of flash. So it can work out, but at the same time, will you have the same level of experience to pull off this specific level of strategy? Because we have seen even the best teams in our region falter when it comes down to this strat, and a lot of them have defaulted to use much more flash-based strategies because of the ease of execution when it comes down to the map of Icebox. So here is where the side of both Insignia and INAZUMA will have their first test, because as you just stated, this is the map where pretty much everything will be decided. Whoever takes map number one will have such a decisive advantage following down on map number two.
Now, we're going to start off with the map. It's Spawn instantly picking up the headshot onto Deadscope. And it's INAZUMA on the attack, all guns forward, leaving that Killjoy on the flank as they look to take control of B side. Very interesting walls from both of the teams. A lot more greedy in terms of first taking control and then putting it out. But it does give you a lot more value with the sidelines closed up. Spawn Tippy trying to go in and stop the plant, but Spawn will take him down. But it's Insignia now coming in. Trill and Shlogsy each find one, and suddenly it's a 3v2. Insignia trying to push back on the retake, but they're already a man down. Now Trill takes some nice Zera, and that's huge. The recon ball coming out gives all the information they need. 2v2 on the map. Vikrant will find one, and Insignia have the wall. They're gonna go for the defuse. The shot coming out to stop the push. Korn will pick up one, and Korn looking for the 1v2, knows that it's half defuse. He's seen it, trying to get the recon for some information. Trill pushing in, and it's Korn with the clutch. We just started the map aggressive and they are already like so damn fast, so damn quick.
What just happened? Team INAZUMA, they were just going faster than lightning at that point. One by one, the trace just went on through. They got the spike plan down, and Insignia, they were firing up on all cylinders as well. They were trying to make that push happen, but at the very end, Trill, he just couldn't get that trade. A small misplay when it came down to his crosshair placement. And in that situation, you could already see that Trill, he was a little bit shaky. No harm, no foul happens to everyone. But hopefully, they can come on back from it. The nerves will be acting on up because this is such an important game. It's going to be your debut game down near here this round of 16. And how will they actually play this is the real question. The first round now going in the favor of the side of Team INAZUMA. They're going to make that push happen. And Insignia, they're all playing from back offside. They want to play for the retake. They want to play for that first initial pickup, and it's going to be Tippy being able to get the first one down with the fired up. Now, Night Zera gets another one. Omkar takes down Hippie. And with that, it'll be all but over. A 4 versus 2 situation on the map. A simultaneous double kill coming on through. 0 and 2 on the scorecards for the side of INAZUMA. And CA, here now that the first buy round is going on through, who do you think has that tiny little bit of an advantage after you saw what happened in round number 1 and round number 2?
Think like coming into round 3, like the advantage definitely was Insignia because they have the better weapons, they have the Vandals, but this is purely bonus for INAZUMA. They only lost one person in the last round, and even that one person, they had only bought 4 Spectres, so they effectively lost 1 Ghost in the last round. They have 4 Spectres, they even have a Phantom, but all of them have more than enough money to get the buys next round. So this is a full bonus. Any kill they can get is going to double down and cause a lot of damage to their opponents. Now, a very aggressive move forward by the side of INAZUMA, but it gets shut down. Trill and Tippy finding the headshots, making those Vandals work, and damn, the new skill does look really, really good. I wish he inspects it a little bit more so you can see it coming out. Aggressive.
Yeah, you need to do a couple of those inspect peeks, like, you know,
Yeah.
press the Y button, hold your W key, and just peek the corner while doing that and one-tap someone out of existence. That's what you want to see coming out, but at the same time, it feels as though Tippy, he knows exactly what the side of Team INAZUMA are trying to plan, and with that, another Sage ultimate could be coming on through, but it's actually not. Omkar instead is going to be the one to take down Shloji, and Tippy, he's already ready. That skin, beautiful in his hand. He's going to be able to take down another. And with that, that's going to be 1 and 2 on the scorecards, and Team Insignia, on their first buy round, they're going to be firing up on all cylinders and taking the fight straight to the side of Team INAZUMA. That's beautifully done, because now, with this bonus round not going in their favor, that basically means they need to go in for that force buy. They're not going to have enough economy to go in for further buys if they lose out right here and right there.
I think over there, Omkar was trying to go for the revive on the jet that was on top of the tube, but he simply couldn't reach him. It wasted a couple of seconds, but that's okay. As you know, like Omkar does have the revive up, so that's a big ultimate. Like they can play very aggressive on the basis of that. But right now, they're just going back to their defaults, trying to get some information, trying to get that Killjoy in a forward position so that she can look and get her team an advantage in a different part of the map. Now, you see, what they're doing, they've taken B green control, they've taken A entry control, and now they're trying to make their way into A, get the gunfights through, but Trill, the bursts are precise, he kills fired up, but the revive is there. Brings him back up to make it a 5v4 on the map, and Insignia have lost 1 member. Now the recombo gives a lot of information, and the slows are coming up. INAZUMA gonna commit onto this side. The nanoswarm grenades are there though. If they just hold on and delay the plant, the retake could be really good, but they are giving the fight. Insignia leaking a little bit as they trade 1 for 1 and give the territory advantage over to INAZUMA. Now the plants are gonna go through, and it will be a clean post-plant position for INAZUMA.
A bit questionable with that all coming down from Omkar, but still does work out in their favor. They're going to be able to get that plan, but at the same time, the post plans are just not safe. They need to play for the lineups purely, and that could and could not work out in their favor. A beautiful shock dart comes out from Dikran. He's going to be able to get the potential kill down onto Omkar, but still, this is going to be a tall order because so many lineups are still present, and pretty sure with the rapid flank coming on down from the side of mid, you can already see that the Killjoy is making its way down forward, and if they're not able to get the spike defuse through, Nightzera is going to be able to get that kill down onto Vikran. Slowseed's going to be the first one to get another one down onto his own twin sister, but fired up, he's already there. He goes in for 1, he goes in for a second. Beautifully done from the side of Team INAZUMA. And Omkar, a little bit questionable with that all, but still, beautiful post-line positioning from every single one of the players from the side of Team INAZUMA.
I think Omkar went for that wall because their recon revealed that there was 2 people towards the screens area, so they were more concerned about the screens push from the back of the side than the actual sandwich push, which is what you usually wall for. So I guess in the moment it does make sense, but what I don't like at all about that round is Insignia playing for the diffuse in a situation where you're playing against that Viper Sage KJ comp. You have to rush them on the retake. You cannot play slow on the diffuse because the post plants will just win out every single time. The Viper mollies, the Sage mollies, if the Killjoy was alive, then that too. Like, all of this adding up makes a diffuse impossible, and Insignia playing into INAZUMA's hands means that the first buy round for INAZUMA goes in their favor and they have the eco advantage. Now a very aggressive A push, the Viper are coming down to get entry onto this fight, and they've got all of what they want, but they're losing their members. Horn and Spawn down each. Now the shock dart's coming out. It's Nothing so far. Does reveal his position. Now Omka trying to move through. He finds one. Sloxy with the trade, but Knights there are there to clean it up.
What?
It's fired up, find one, but Trail with the double will pull out a semi-thrifty. Like, I know semi-thrifty doesn't like this aggressive, but that was a semi-buy. They did not all have their weapons, and yet they managed to win the round.
That was a beautiful play by Trill, but the fact that he actually got a light-up kill down onto Fired Up and also Omkar, a little bit unlucky, so I guess, but at the same time, good plays from the side of Insignia, because you do have to remember, as you just stated, not really everyone had their buys, a lot of them just went in for Sheriffs. And Slokshi, I have to give it to this Killjoy man. He has absolute nerves of steel. Going inside of a Viper ult and then just one-tapping 2 people out of existence, that's not something any Killjoy can do. Slokshi, he's gotta be the guy on your mind whenever you think of a play like that from now on. But as you can see, like, what is this guy doing? Slokshi? Hello?
Spawn trying to take down a turret with his classic from belt, like that's a bit of a question mark for me. Trippy takes Sloxy takes full advantage of it. Trill will find another. This Sage Killjoy combo have been finding so many aim battle wins on the side of Insignia. And Sloxy with the nerves to steal man, walking in casually, able to put a couple and break the lockdown. It's just Korn left. He takes the Sloxy, but not before the damage is done. Before HP left, Korn is shocked as the dart comes through from Vikrant. It'll be 3-3 on the board, and last round was a bit of an eco for INAZUMA, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but I think we're seeing way too much A aggression. I want to see that Viper wall go towards B, a bit of conditioning going on to try and put the fear into your opponent's minds that you could go to either side at any moment.
Now, the main problem in my eyes seems to be for the side of Team INAZUMA is because they're lacking way too much map control. Maybe some form of change-ups, or maybe even sending the Killjoy to try and maybe go in for a couple of different plays with Tippy. If this is the crucial shot, he's not going to be able to get the first initial kill, and that's going to hurt them quite a lot, because now they know for a fact that the operator is down towards this B side. But look at Deathscope, he's holding it down from the back end. Beautiful reactions coming on down from the side of Spawn. He was just so ready for it, and he was already hovering down over his dash key to get back out on that scenario. He's going to be able to survive 100 HP for himself after the stage heal did come on through. And with that, they're going to be in a pretty good spot, moving their way down towards that A side. At the same time, I love the discipline coming out from Insignia. As you can already see, all the members are just playing it so slow. They're not giving up their positions, and they're not being aggressive whatsoever.
INAZUMA's style of using this Viper ult is Viper wall is very different. As you can see in this round, they've saved it up. They're going to use it when they actually commit to a particular site on the execute, as compared to teams where you usually see the Viper wall placed in either B or mid and use it as a conditioning where the Viper becomes a lurker. Fired Up on this Viper is actually more of a controller, like the Omen, than most Vipers we see, and it's very interesting to see that difference in playstyle. But right now, the battle is down towards mid, and Insignia come out huge. Deathscope will find 2. Insignia 2 agents ahead, leaving just Fired Up and Gon to pull off close an impossible clutch. Hunt has gone down, but Gon will get caught out in the crossfire. He'll go down. Fired Up finds one, but Tippy there to trade it up, meaning it's 4-3 picked up for Insignia. They win the buy round, they save the operator, and they get the eco in their favor. And this is where I have to start asking of INAZUMA. As you said, they need map control, right? I feel like the only way you're gonna get map control is if you commit the Viper wall early, play around it, get an advanced position, and then rotate. And they're not doing that.
Completely agree with you, and it feels as though INAZUMA, they have fell into a loop. They always want to go towards that A side because it's understandable. The A side executions are a lot more easier than the B side execution, because on the side of B, you need to consider the angle of Snowman, you need to consider Heaven, you need to consider Tube, you also need to consider Yellow Container. There are so many things you need to keep in mind when you opt to go in for that execution, especially when there's a Viper on the receiving end of that B side. It's even harder to make that push happen. But look at Deathscope's position. They did not communicate it properly. Deathscope actually gets away with murder pretty much at that stage. He does get the first initial takeoff, and that is going to be so crucial. But at the same time, that's another gun going in the favor of the side of the attackers, because you do need to remember they are opting to go in for an eco round. TP trying to be a little bit too aggressive. He's got to be able to find 2 kills from the side of Trill, but Spawn is going to be the one to get the trades regardless. And now already going on down to a 2 versus 2 situation. And this eco round is firing up on all cylinders, and it's going to be the side of Team INAZUMA being able to take that first goal in their favor if they get the spike plan down soon enough.
The time and the positions are in the side of INAZUMA. For Insignia, they don't have much info, but I do notice the recon is up for the Sova. It's going to come out right about now, clear out the yellow angle. Even though it doesn't actually give any waves of information, the fact that it gets taken down instantly means that they know that there's someone in the yellow. Now the plant's going to go down, but the Sova ultimate ready to deny it. Vikrant will take out fire drop, and Vikrant's looking for just some info. Will get 4K, will find the headshot. Can he find the ace and the clutch? Now Spawn should know where Shloxy likely is. Not in Snowman. The turret is here. That means he's likely around this default area, hiding either in the vertical angle or the defensive. But the time is running out. Spawn looking to plant it out. Doesn't fake it. He's gonna go for the full plant, and that's gonna be the end of him. Shloxy will take him out, and that'll be 5-3 picked up for Team Insignia. A bit of a messed up execute from the side of INAZUMA. They all rush in very well. Like the first mess up with Deathscope getting the kill, that was okay because they made it a 1-for-1. But then not clearing yellow and allowing Trill to pick up a double, I felt like that was their downfall at the end. Spawn put up a really good performance to almost pull it off, but Shloxy just calm, composed, pulls up the clutch.
It's built different at that point. Whenever someone gets a clutch like that, when he has the resolve to just hold it down strong and then make that play like that, beautifully done from Shloxy. But at the same time, as you just stated, it feels as though whenever they go down to the B side, they're always missing that one singular angle. And every single one of the members of the side of Team INAZUMA, they're making that same mistake over and over again. And that's what's really causing a lot of this to happen. And this time around, once again, they want to make that push down towards the side of Deathscope, but the shots are going to be raining on it. And with that alarm bot, they're going to reveal pretty much everything. And Cone, he's going to be the one to take down Deathscope, but at the same time, Trill, once again, he's in the same exact position, holding down from the side of Yellow Container. But will the side of Team INAZUMA fall for this same tactic once again? Seems not, because Cone, he's ready for it, and he's just waiting for Trill to walk on down into his crosshair vicinity to pop a bullet into it.
INAZUMA have got to play around this body. If they give up control in B and try to go over to A, then Trill will be ready with ultimate. Again, don't play yellow. From the same spot, Trill gets one. Not able to find the other. Fire up does take him out, but Shloxy using all of that chaos to find himself a kill. Card goes down, leaving it 3v3 on the map. INAZUMA, you have got to clear yellow when you go on to B. And Insignia right now, they're making them pay the price for that small mistake. On the miss his shot, now pulling out his base on it. He knows he has to make the plays. He's going in. Found up there for the backup Spawn. Not able to find all 3 plays. Found 2, but fired up now left. Last man standing. Pulls out the ultimate, trying to go for the flank, but no time left. Spotted out by Shloxy, and that's 63 picked up for Insignia. INAZUMA, I just feel like they're just tiny mistakes, but I have to give props to Insignia, always able to capitalize on them.
Like the thing that I said previously, when it came down to round number 3, it feels as though them going towards the A side is much more of a comfort thing. And you can already see that for the side of Team INAZUMA, they're not as experienced on the map of Icebox. Because when you consider this map compared to any other map in Valorant, other than Ryzen, nothing really has the similar layouts in comparison and the similar composition playstyles that can work here. I understand what they're trying to play. This composition is just so potent when played properly. But the thing is, them lacking the flash here, they need to clear pretty much everything, and them not clearing that one singular angle so many times just shows the inexperience going on through for their side. They need to try and learn from that to bring it back for themselves, because they still have time. They can still take it down to a 6-6, give them that proper advantage to go on down to their own defensive half and just take the side of Team Insignia by storm. But will they be able to do so is the real question. They have that A They have the brains to do it as well. They can do pretty much anything. They just need to adapt. And with this round in particular, it's going to be fired up, trying to make that difference for himself as well. Does get one kill, but immediately gets taken out by Vikram. And Sarah does get another one, and the trades are just going in left. The trades are just going in right as well. And a beautiful recon ball coming in from Vikram down from the back end. He's going to be able to take down the Sage. And with that, the plant has been denied, but the short darts are going to be raining in soon enough.
Trill will find a kill on spawn with the operator picked up, leaving Cone in a 1v2. Now this off angle by Cone is pretty huge. Lock it in the body. Cone with the trigger display, but the kills run out. Not able to take down Shloxy. He's trying to reload. Will bullets in time, but Shloxy coming in. Oh my god, I feel so bad for Cone. That's really, really unlucky. But Insignia, damn, they're clean aggressive. And I have to say, like, continuing off the point we were talking about regarding the comfort level of INAZUMA versus Insignia, this can be seen in various different ways. Like, if you look at the Sova recons, for example, like that tiny angle towards yellow, I feel like INAZUMA are assuming that the recon they send is going to clear it because they don't actually know for sure what the recon reveals and what it does not. While on the other side, Vikrant knows exactly where to throw the recon for all sorts of situations. In this round, as you can see, realizes that he needs info for the plant, so recon slightly about Transformer, where in general you would see the recon slightly further away. And I feel like that little bit of adaptation is going a long way for Insignia. They're able to continuously just stay one step ahead of INAZUMA and get the round wins. Shloxy moving in, catches out Spawn and Omkar. One will go down, that's a spike dropped, and oh my lord, aggressive INAZUMA just getting massacred.
It was an eco round, but at the same time, you need to get some form of value out of your eco rounds as well. Giving up flawless when you are down this many rounds, down to an 8-3 scoreline as well. It feels as though there is a massive disconnect from all the members of the side of Team INAZUMA. They're not able to coordinate down together and just feel lost on the map of Icebox. Spawn is pretty much running it down side of mid, and his teammates are just not able to follow it. They're not able to go down with his pace, and that is not something that you would expect coming on down from a team such as INAZUMA's caliber. And here, Team Insignia, they're making that difference happen. They're punishing every single mistake that the side of Team INAZUMA is making. This is really smart, but Tippy, he just doesn't care about the Owl Road. He's like, yo, Owl Road, hello, Sova, how are you? I'm holding you down with an operator. Do you want to peek me? Because even if you have the reveal on me, I'm not gonna miss my shot whatsoever.
Yeah, he's like, I dare you, man. I double dare you. Peek me, peek me. You know I'm here, just peek me. Go for it. The confidence, I absolutely love it from Tippy. But once again, you can see that comfort playing out for INAZUMA. It's their last chance, their last round. They're trying to go for the A, but both of the lockdowns have been put down, which will mean the side entry denied. Now, Cone does take out the defender Killjoy lockdown, and Spawn has used that to take up an aggressive position. No, Site, someone might be there in the rafters. The spray was there, but slightly off, meaning Shloxy takes no damage. Instead, it's Sarah to pick up a kill on Deathscope, who's lurking down towards mid B area, and with that kill they're gonna try to go back to A. Now I do believe, or the side of Insignia, Vikram doesn't have the recon ready yet. It will mean that no information for them, and Omkar takes perfect advantage of that, using that peeking corridor in between screens and the default plant position to pick up a 3k for himself. He makes it 8-4 for the side of Team INAZUMA, and this is huge aggressive because I feel like 4 is the minimal mark we keep for a possible comeback, but also because if you're not comfortable with the map of Icebox, I feel like it just gets easier on defense because now you just have to hold your angles, do your individual work.
I completely agree with that, and hopefully Team INAZUMA, the defense is much more potent than the side of the attack. But at the same time, you don't have to remember, CA, that a lot of the pressure will now fall upon this pistol round, because if they lose out on this pistol round in particular, that basically is going to leave it on a 9-4 scoreline, basically meaning that it's going to go to a 10-4 if the side of INAZUMA do not opt to go in for down 4 spy. And as soon as you have that double digits, especially when you are on the lead, that's going to give you such a massive advantage in particular. Not only are you at double digits, you're also getting into your opponent's heads. You're going to be like, hey, we're this much closer to get that win. Much more mental fortitude is required to come on back from them. And that's going to cause a lot of the confidence falter towards the side of Team INAZUMA. So in a way, this pistol round in particular carries a lot of weight for the future of the following rounds.
Absolutely. And if like I think INAZUMA, maybe it's time to grab a can of Red Bull, get some energy going. If you want to do the same for yourself, make sure you scan that QR code. You see it on the screen. Get yourself some Red Bull cans, and just get it going. Get that energy flowing. Get those wings out, and just go blast. Like I expect INAZUMA to do exactly that because, as Aggressive said, like you need to start the pistol round off strong. You simply cannot afford to give double digits to Insignia, especially considering this is their map. I'm sure that they have the strats ready for the attacking side. It's all going to be about the plant. Insignia, if they can get the plant down, I'm sure they have the lineups to play the post plant, which means INAZUMA, your objective is very simple now. You need to just prevent the plant as much as possible. Now, I do notice that all of Insignia, I feel like both of these teams really like A. They're gonna go into A, spawn with the first blood, Sophie with an instant played out. If moving in amongst all of that chaos will clear out Sandwich and take out Spawn. Now 4v3 on the map. Insignia got themselves onto site. A very nice ball will mean a plant picked up, but they do pay the price. Cone will take out one, does not do any damage with the shock dart, but does clear the rest of them out. But amongst all of this aggressive, it's a 3v3, and for Insignia, they have all of their lineup agents alive.
They're all happy pretty much. They don't give a damn. They got the spike plan down and everyone's just gonna chill. But at the same time, Okar is so smart. He actually keeps his wall. But still, very smart play coming out now from all the members of the side of Team Insignia. They understood that as soon as their wall went on through, they need to peek and they need to take it out in a matter of seconds. Everyone spammed that ball. Beautiful communication coming on down from the side of Team Insignia. And that's not something you see even from a lot of the top level teams. Like, I still remember during a couple of the GE games where the wall just went on up and the full defuse went through, and we were like, wait, what? How did that just happen? Did they communicate to go in and try and destroy the wall? Sometimes it does not happen, but the fact that Team Insignia have that level of communication and they were ready for it just goes to show how potent this team can be. And it was a small misplay in my eyes from the side of Team INAZUMA to actually opt to go in for such an aggressive peak, knowing the fact that Sloxy is just having such an amazing day when it comes down to his aim. You should not try and challenge him as much when it is your disadvantageous gunfight. That small issue can cause you to lose a lot of rounds.
Firedog getting very aggressive there, gets taken out instantly. Insignia willing to just take a step back and allow INAZUMA to take their own grave, sort of, like just as I'm talking about. Phone getting caught out by Vikrant.
Flawless,
like,
flawless.
Yeah, another flawless picked up, and I feel like there's a stark difference between the way Insignia are playing the map as compared to the way INAZUMA did play the map in their attacking side. You can see map control all the way around for Insignia. They have someone posted towards the A area to make sure the rotations are cut off. They have someone watching a possible flank from B, and they are slowly walking in towards that B side, and they get the value for all of it. Like, all of this combined, as you said, aggressive, like the comms look so good for Insignia, and that's exactly what we expected from them. The new kids on the block showing up and really causing havoc with all of the expectations people had from a team like INAZUMA, and it does put a lot of questions into the picture. Like, hey, this changes up how we look at the rest of the group. Can INAZUMA now make a comeback, or Insignia, are they the sort of ruthless team that just won't give any room for a comeback?
We do have to remember this is a full bonus round coming on down from the side of Team Insignia, but at the same time, I'm just looking at the scoreboard for a second. 23 kills on your Killjoy, and the Battle Sage with the 14 and 7. You can't ask for anything better than that. Your Sentinels are just popping the hell off, and at this stage, things are gonna get even rougher for the side of Team INAZUMA because the shots are just not connecting. Fired up, he gets taken on down by a Spectre trap wall. That's really hard to see and really hard to watch. Vikrant, he does get a double kill. Trippy with the run and gun does get another. They're gonna be able to shut everyone down with just those Spectres in their hand, ladies and gentlemen, and that is gonna be rough to say the very least, coming on down already. And now it's just gonna be Nightzera trying to make that difference, trying to make that push happen, but Shloxy, he's not gonna give anything away. But honestly, CA, I need to say something about Shloxy. This guy woke up on the right side of the bed. He had a really hearty meal because he's not missing a single headshot. Even those pixel angles, he's just dinking people for days.
Yeah, and for INAZUMA, I have to say, like, the first two rounds, they were very willing to take the peaks and fight the long range battles. The round where they have the long range advantage with the Vandal versus the Spectre, they camp the corners and get caught out in a mid range battle. That's a big question for me. I feel like INAZUMA are starting to get a little overwhelmed because of Icebox. We know what this map can do to the morale of players, so we will give them a benefit of the doubt. It is the best team. Maybe they can still pull it back
Oh my
on this
God.
map itself, but it doesn't look like Insignia are gonna give them any nightmare. Nice clean one tap. Gonna look for more. He's ready. Finds one shot on Vikrant and another with his body shot, which means the kill does not come through. It's Vikrant and Shloksi taking down, but Spawn using all of this, coming out through the flank. He's able to find one kill with the classic. We'll give him the Blade Storm, but Trill takes him out, and it'll be Trill finding the second kill. A match point for Insignia. A good effort from INAZUMA, I would say. But right now, Insignia, I think they've answered my question aggressive. They are the ruthless team that will not give you an inch for a comeback.
Speaking, they just feel comfortable on this map. And
Yeah.
Team Inazuma, they just don't mix well with this one in particular. It feels as though they're trying to play much more control heavy when it comes down to their own defensive side. They're playing so defensively that they're giving away so much control all over the map. They just want to play for the side picks. They just want to be like, hey, you come to us, we're going to be the ones to get this kill. They're not trying to establish anything. They're not the ones dictating the pace of a lot of the fights. And this is what exactly that they need. They need Spawn to be much more aggressive. They need to try and find some form of pick, get some information at the very least, to see how they're gonna approach a lot of their fights. And such a beautiful play, Spawn. He just went in for that peek, takes out Trill in a matter of seconds, and they're gonna be able to find so much value as well. Spawn, he can actually survive. There's a right hand side corner. Spawn, you could have gone over there to survive the lockdown and instantly go in for that re-peek as well to take down another player. Small misplays coming out here and there from the side of Team INAZUMA, but the nerves are going to be acting on up. This is match point, ladies and gentlemen, for the side of Team Insignia, and will they be able to do it is a real question. Spawn gets another kill down on. He just gets his third. He needs to have to go in for that reload. Not just yet. Zero's going to be able to survive, but Spawn, he's still kicking, and he is ready to send everyone back from the side of Team INAZUMA to their own spawns. Spots on another player, not going to be able to get the headshot though. Big Brad, he's still alive. Whips out the classic, but the Tarzan comes in from the road swinging. And it's gonna be Code to take him all down. And Team INAZUMA, they keep their tournament dreams alive for this map in particular. 12-5 on the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen. And that was a beautiful retake coming out from them.
Absolutely, like INAZUMA coming out swinging when their lives are on the line. So, like, you see for Insignia, like that, like the fact that INAZUMA have shown that they've already done the retake. I wonder now how Insignia will adapt, because for INAZUMA, now I do believe, yeah, the operator is on spawn again. He was able to save it up, which means that is a scary factor. Like, both of the teams mirror compositions, both of the teams do not have the flash, which means that the operator usually reigns supreme on this map, and that operator gonna go over to the A side. Now, I do see from Insignia on the map that they're collecting towards this mid area. The mid wall coming down as well. This might just be a mid to B rush. If that Killjoy Shloksi can pick up a kill onto Fire Up. The wall does come up now. The drone coming out as Phone tries to get some information for his team. A blind tag as he just tries to catch someone out. Will not find anyone, but does spot out Spawn. Now he does not know that Deathscope has moved in into the cube. I wonder if Deathscope is just going to wait here or take the wall down. I would like to see him just wait here for, I think the wall will go down in about 15 to 20 seconds, and then he can surprise the hell out of his opponents. While Deathscope is there lurking around, his team gonna go for the B-side push. I think he is waiting aggressive. This is gonna get really spicy.
Deathscope, he's in such a good lurking position, and if his team just waits it out, waits
wall
for
is
the
down.
falls, he's gonna be in such a good position, and the wall's already down, and Deathscope, he's gonna be making his move, slowly but surely making on down towards the angle of Kitchen. But the real question is, will he be able to get a lot of value out of here? Is the real deal here. Cone's right on his right-hand side, and if he makes that push, Cone, he's already gonna die. He doesn't know that he's gonna be holding down from that back-end corner. Deathscope, he actually drops
no.
out, but no one hears the drop
Oh
sound.
no.
Let's go. He's actually gonna be able to find it. He does find one. He's looking for another one. Here's the
Oh, no.
footsteps. Oh, guard glass go down. He does find a third. Cone gets taken out as well, but fired up straight in the middle of the air. Shuts down another one. The shots are gonna be going on in. Tippy's gonna be present, but Trill is gonna be the one to finish it all off. Beautifully done from the side of Insignia, ladies and gentlemen. They take it all away. And Deathscope, this guy is beautiful on the lurk.
I think that was sub 30 minute, like a sub 30 minute map. Like the pace at which Insignia played, both on the attacking and defense side, was absolutely insane. 421 ACS. Shloksi on the kills,
What?
26 kills, 3 first bloods. This is our player, the spotlight player for us today. And rightfully so. Damn, he popped off on Icebox. I was talking about on the analyst desk about how important that killjoy can be, but I wasn't expecting this sort of performance. Shloksi, my man, take a bow. That was insane. And I think we have a lot to talk about. Despite how fast it went, there was actually a lot of nuances in there. And so we'll look at those nuances with the match highlights and really talk about what went wrong for INAZUMA. I think a lot of it, of course, has to do with comfort, as you were saying. But besides the comfort fact, I will say that I think all INAZUMA really need to do is pull out a custom lobby and go familiarize themselves with the more common positions for the map of Icebox and where their recon bolt clears out. Because I think for Gon, he knows where his recon bolt is going, what it's revealing, and so on. But I'm not so sure that all of his teammates know, and that does cause a little bit of divide. And in such top tier competition, that little bit of divide is all a team like Insignia needs to just rip it apart and push it all the way through. Now, this was Insignia's map aggressive, so the scoreline does factor into the decision that they picked into this map, but a 1-0 lead is going to speak volumes for them and give them a lot of morale going into map 2. The question is, can INAZUMA pull off a comeback on their own?
You just say that the decider map has to be this map in particular, and moving on down forward from this and to elaborate what the side of Team INAZUMA in my eyes did wrong, and is to just say that they were not familiar with the map as much, they were not clearing out the angles that they should have been clearing, but to add on to that, if they want to play this type of composition, they need a lot more coordination and a lot more communication between all their players. And the fact that Deadscope actually got away with such a massive lurk and actually got 3 kills out of it as well, that should not have happened, because normally in the highest levels of play, as soon as that stage wall goes down, there is one teammate always stationed literally on point near that wall to make sure that he clears out that kitchen angle. Omkar was coming, but the flank was way too late. He was checking that angle at such a late position that Deadscope, he was already in. Deadscope, he was already in, got like 2 kills, and he just got this 3rd as well. That was a little bit of a question mark in my eyes. They were losing out on so much map control, and the communication was just not there. Utility usage was good, the aim was deadly and potent, but it all really came down to the levels of control around the map, and hopefully they're able to have this level, have better levels of control, in their following matchup, because this map number 2 is anything like map number 1. The Team INAZUMA, they're gonna be in a pretty rough spot.
I will say though that like Spawn looked really good with that operator on the defensive side. He had his moments even on the attacking, finding a lot of really cool one taps. So maybe when going into a more comfortable map, not only will Spawn be able to lift up his game, but the team itself in general able to come out swinging. We do expect this sort of gap for a newer team because Icebox is a very, very difficult map. So we will give them the benefit of the doubt and instead look at the good plays they made, which is players like Spawn really showing up, or players like Nightsera with the one taps they found, and hope that in Ascent they can pull off the same type of display and take down Insignia to take us to 3 maps. Now, for now, we're going to go set up for our second map. And in the meantime, make sure you check out the links in the description for some amazing deals for yourself, as well as make sure you hit that like button, get the subscribe on with the notifications as well. You don't want to miss a single minute of this awesome group stage action. We'll go set up for map 2 and see you really soon with the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. We're back for the action between Team Inazuma and Team Insignia after a blowout map 1, I would say, a very dominant showing from Team Insignia to take it over. Let's quickly go over to the map, Vito, see what we have got in store for map 2 aggressive, because I think going on to map 2, Inazuma really have to turn up.
There's someone needing to turn up here because now it's going to be the map of Ascent. And in Ascent in particular, this map is the most textbook Valorant map that you'll ever find. It's very simple, has an A, has a B, and has a mid. Everything is on the tables, but at the same time, you need to consider something. Team Insignia, they have showed their proficiency when it comes down to using a plethora of agents. And now, CA, I'm going to give you this question. Do you think that the side of Team Inazuma will actually pick up that Astra? Because if Team Insignia pick up the Astra now, it's going to be quite difficult for the side of Team Inazuma to bring it on back if they don't have the Astra capabilities of the same caliber.
Yeah, absolutely. And that the mystery is even compounded by like which controller we're going to see, given the fact that their general controller player, SK Wow, unfortunately unable to play today due to some technical issues, will mean that they don't have their regular Omen player either. So like maybe one of them actually is an Astra player and is going to switch over to the controller role, or like they just end up playing Omen because as a non-controller player, Omen is usually the only controller that most players are comfortable with. We will see though, irrespective, I think for me going into this map, I want to see from Inazuma a display which tells me that, hey, Icebox was an anomaly. We're just not that comfortable on that map. That's why we ended up like playing like that. Like we need more time with Icebox. That's what I want Inazuma to really prove going into map 2, because as you said, this is one of the most textbook Valorant maps. I feel like one of the easiest Valorant maps with respect to learning it, right? Of course, there is an insane, like infinite number of ways to be able to change it up, but let's look at what the Asian pickups come through. It is going to be Omkar on the Omen spot, picking up the Reina. I do like the aggressive. Does mean that he can be a lot more aggressive and get the kills the way he was able to in the last map. But for the side of Insignia, I doubt any change is going to come on through. It's just, is it going to be the Astra or the Omen? What do you think? Oh,
In my eyes, in particular, I will be seeing an Astra come out from them because Deadscope, if he's that proficient on that Viper, he has to be proficient on that Astra. Like, come on, see it. If anyone can master Viper, they can master Astra
yeah.
as well. Because both of these agents are extremely hard to play. The lineups are really, really crucial. And also the timings need to be accurate the way you play those characters. And Astra is pretty much the same. If you can understand the timings properly, you're going to be the ones to come out on top. But at the same time, the main thing that I would dislike, the main thing that I dislike coming out from both of these teams is actually the pickup of that Reyna. Because in my eyes, the Phoenix is just so much more potent when you consider the Astra Phoenix combination because of the amount of utility you can cycle through and also use in conjunction with one another. The Reyna, sorry, on the other hand, will just give you a little bit more firepower and a little bit more of that snowball effect in comparison to the Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of the teams picking up the Reina, I will say, I really, really like it for Insignia. Like, I really like it for Inazuma too, of course, Spawn on that Reina. But I know what he can do on the Duelist. So, like, for me, that's cool, but on Insignia, it's Trill picking up that Reyna. We already saw the kind of positions he liked to hold with the Sage on Icebox. They were very aggressive, one-off kind of positions. And those positions, I feel like, are best with that Reyna because of the fact that she can just dismiss out of there. Now, the map is gonna get started, but before it does, make sure you scan that QR code down below, get your Red Bull cans going, and just get ready for this second map. It's set to be a banger.
Honestly speaking, you have to give something towards the side team INAZUMA to pick up where they left off, and hopefully using the strategy that they're doing now. This is much more of the old style strategy, picking up that Reyna, picking up that Jet, and of course that Omen. And this will allow for much more of that ease of use in comparison to what the side of Insignia are trying to pull off. But at the same time, if Insignia are able to pull off their strategy proficiently, the side of Team INAZUMA, they're gonna be in a world of hurt if they are not careful. And the real question in my eyes is that will Team Insignia be able to pull it off? Because this composition in particular that they have right now is just way more difficult than what you would expect in general. Because picking up that Astra, yes, you can use it in conjunction with the Killjoy, but having that Phoenix in your arsenal just makes things a lot more easier. So here I'm going to be looking towards the side of Deathstroke to make a lot more of those Ezzy type plays. Because whenever we think of Astra, it always reminds me of the plays that Ezzy makes from the side of Team Enigma. The way he helps his team and is like an anchor for their entire side. Anything that happens, or if any teammate is under fire, or if he needs any form of backup, Izzy's always there. He's just ready to use one of his astral stars to get them out of those sticky situations and give them a much more advantageous gunfights. And if Deathscope is able to do that, Team INAZUMA, they're in for a world of hurt.
Absolutely. Like for Insignia versus INAZUMA in this map, it's also going to be about really, getting off to the right start in the group stages. This is their first map, and in a group like Group A, where you can't really be sure which team will end up beating which team. Every win really, really counts. So this first win, very important for both of these teams. They need to make sure they at least put up a good standing so they can go into the next map trying to improve, sorry, the next set trying to improve and capitalize on the same. Now, let's look at pistol buys. I do notice Pluxy only buying a classic with one utility, which means that he has 600 credits saved up. I'm not seeing this much from any Killjoy main in general, but it does make sense with the position he's holding. A very anchor-based role just to deny the lane and then play in the boathouse, which will mean that they are able to stack up the A side. I like this already from INAZUMA. They are very decisive, it looks like, from the way they want to play the map. They're holding on to short and willing to play slow towards that B. Insignia, on the other hand, trying to get some information on A. They've presented a fake over towards the A, putting a bit of utility, but now the rest of them gonna start walking in. Gonna go for this B, and this lane hold by INSIGNIA gonna be insanely important.
Much more confused about that Killjoy pickup, just as you said previously, but INSIGNIA, he's still alive. He's gonna be able to get the first initial pickup down on the one. He's gonna be able to get a second as well. He's looking for his third, but the shot back from Vikram, it's just so clean, it's just so crispy. Spawn comes in from the sideline, gets another skill down on the death comes Spawn with the second as well. He's gonna heal himself back up to full, and now down in this 1 versus 3 situation, Vikram, he has nowhere to run, and it's gonna be fired up, coming on down from the top end of it all. Takes down Vikram with a well-placed headshot, and with that, just as the round started, the retake was just as clean. 1-0 on the scorecards for the side of Team INAZUMA, and they come out of the gates running.
Yeah, INAZUMA coming out really, really strong, and I have to give it to INSIGNIA. Like, as we talked about, the 600 credits being left over was not normal, but now that I look at the second round and the way he played the anchor on the first, it makes a lot of sense, because now he's gone for the full buys with all of the utility, and without that 600 credits saved, he would not have got all of that utility. So a smart decision made by INSIGNIA, a little risky, but I always like the risky plays because you don't get the reward without the risk. Now for the side of Insignia, Spawn just holding, sorry, for the side of INAZUMA, Spawn just holding, fired up with the ghost. Nice one, he does stand out, but Spawn's position completely unrevealed. Still has soul up, they're not checking him, he's already picked up a double, will be able to pick up another. He did find one kill, aggressive, but still a very nice round picked up for the side of INAZUMA. They go into the third looking for a bonus.
This is going to be very crucial for their side, because if they're able to find this, especially on their own defensive half, they're going to be in a pretty good spot to get a snowball effect going for their side. And that is just so crucial here as well, because if you are able to get that snowball effect, if you're able to build up that confidence that you have lost down in map number 1, you are going to just pile through this map and just take the fight straight to the doorsteps of Insignia. But at the same time, Insignia, it's their first gun round, and this is exactly what happened in the previous map as well. Initially, it was the first 2 pistol rounds being on a major disadvantage for the side of Insignia, but as soon as the gun round came on through, they just fired up on all cylinders.
I had scared for a second there. The smoke even off. You can see Omkar was feeling the fear with the astral gravity well on his toes, but using all of that utility, still able to slowly move up. He finds one kill, but does not check the immediate corner retreat. Fired up, ready for the instant one tap, takes him out. That will mean Fired Up is rewarded with a weapon for himself. A Vandal in his hands, and that could be disaster for the side of Insignia. Picks up one kill, and as we said, aggressive, a defensive bonus win is absolutely humongous. It gives you an eco advantage. It gives you almost a free operator with respect to that money advantage coming in. And the way the round is going, 4v2, it looks like INAZUMA is set to get just that. Shloksi has something to say about it. He's already picked up one kill. Has spiked himself, so can go for the plant. His alarm bot revealing that there's someone pushing him through stairs area. The alarm did actually go off, so double information for that. Shloksi trying to capitalize off of it, but Spawn will take him down. That's 3-0 picked up from INAZUMA and already aggressive. I see that comfort coming through. I see that confidence coming through, and I'm loving it.
You can already see that Team INAZUMA, they are not gonna be giving up anything. They're hurt after what happened in map number 1, and they are running to get this map away from the side of Team Insignia. And now with Insignia being on the back foot, them being forced onto that eco, it's gonna be a tough spot coming out from them. But at the same time, we can never count them out, because we always have to remember that Thrifty not coming out from them. Them nearly just pulling it out of absolutely nowhere. They can just do the same as well. But Spawn with his break control, long range, he gets 2 headshots and takes out 2 people. What just happened there, CA? He had no business getting those 2 kills. He gets this board that he's looking for an ace as well. He knows exactly where Big Krat is, and Big Krat, he's gonna be going in for a lot of work. A hurt as well. Spawn comes in with a beautiful play for himself and an ace to open things up for this map in particular. Ascent is a playground of Team INAZUMA, ladies and gentlemen, and they are surely shining even brighter than light.
I love seeing the smiles on the players' faces as well. You can see they're jubilant after map 1 to just sort of put their own stamp onto map 2. Be like, Insignia, you know what? You took map 1 away, fair enough. Now let me show you what we've got. That spray control from Spawn. Absolutely nutty, picks up the ace, and this is what we're excited for with him coming onto the arena. A lot more individual agency, and he's shown that already. 11-0 on the scorecard. He's ready to look for more. Now, does get spotted out, so he's moving out. Closes the door just so he can take it out, but the Killjoy ultimate now coming down for Insignia. They're trying to make a move happen onto this A side. Ryzen though very happy to play the anchor, very defensive, waiting onto this side. Spots one out, notices one split transformer, picks up the 1 and the second kill. The vulnerable really helping him out, and that's Ryzen with the triple. Picked up by his teammates to pick up a flawless 5-0. You think INAZUMA, okay, I know this is very far-fetched because we're only 5 rounds in, but do you think it's possible that INAZUMA just stomp this entire map, make it a 13-0?
It's a little bit too early to say, CA, as you just stated yourself pretty much, because Team Insignia, I think they're just caught off guard entirely, because after what happened in map number 1, they were not expecting this to happen in map number 2, but at the same time, you have to always consider what happened in the anime as well. The first initial time, INAZUMA were not able to win out on their game, and pretty much after a lot of hard work and a lot of patience, they come on back even stronger than ever, and that's exactly what's happening here. INAZUMA, they're not letting off the gas pedal one little bit. They were like, you thought we were uncomfortable in our previous map, we're gonna show you how comfortable we are on the map of Ascent in particular, but at the same time, they're not checking all of their corners. The communication gap is just there a little bit too massive. Trill comes in down from the angle of mid. He's gonna be able to find out 2 kills as well, and with that, it's gonna be a lonely little Killjoy holding on down from the back of side with Fired Up on his side. Will he be able to find the first initial kill? Yes, he's gonna be able to. Trill is gonna get taken on down by the well-placed operator of shot, but the Spawn to get one more for himself as well, but understands that, hey, I don't need to try and go in for a push. I need to keep the man advantage just a little bit more in our favor. Maybe if I rotate down into the side, they're not going to check all of the angles properly. They're going to still think that I'm no longer holding down from inside of the side. Then I can slowly go in for a push down from the side of A short, and get an easy kill down on at least one of the members to make my push a lot more comfortable. But at the same time, Spawn, he's just playing it so beautifully. Big Round, his position is already known, and Spawn comes in and gets that kill down onto him. 3 guns now going on down towards the side of Team INAZUMA as they make their push happen slowly but surely towards the angle of A short. But with the retake situation a lot more difficult, considering a lot of their members are at low HP, a lot of the pressure will now go onto the side of Spawn as the Killjoy lockdown does go down. Oh, he's going in for the wallbang. He's going in for the wallbang.
Oh, yeah, I do see it. It's trying to get the wallbang too, but it doesn't work. Inside, Files will get one kill and with another. The wallbang doesn't work out and it leaves that scope detained. It's fired up to pick up, sorry, not fired up to pick up the last kill, but irrespective, INAZUMA make it 6-0. That I felt like that was the round. Insignia were ready to pull off the comeback, but they get caught off guard in their post plants by the Killjoy ultimate. The wallbang not working out, and I wonder if it's because of the fact that he sprayed in the upper angle, because sometimes you see the Killjoy ult going down on top of the boxes in that tree area. It was actually not on top of the boxes, it was below. Maybe caught off guard because of that, but 14-0 aggressive. 14-0 on Spawn. 6 hits in, he hasn't died a single time. Obviously he doesn't have a single assist because he's at rate. He wants those kills, man. 14 kills to his name already. Spawn is going right now, and it's him really that INAZUMA are looking to push this momentum forward all the way through. The A-shot push coming in does get spotted out by from mid lobby, and there's going to be Spawn using that pressure to move in. What's just the barest of edges out, but Trill able to take him out earlier. Now the dismiss to move away. The Hunter Fury is not going to catch Trill off guard. Instead, it's Shloksi moving in off of all that pressure, taking out Nightzera. A control is taken from Insignia, and they do not give up. They will persevere.
Ikran getting another kill down onto an unsuspecting own card. With that, he may just get one more for himself, and that's going to be so crucial as well, because now with Cone having the recall mode on his hand, he's going for a retake with his body on his side. But the real question is, will they be able to find much value? Not much though. Cone getting caught off guard by Trill, holding him down from the angle of green box. Beautifully done and fired up at this point. If he just saves this gun, this would be so much better. But Trill, he punishes him for that over-aggression. But still, no harm, no foul. 6-round consecutive wins on their side. Even though they lost out on this round in particular, they're gonna have proper buys moving on down forward. Primarily because why? Because all of their previous rounds are very decisive. They were either flawless rounds or bare minimum they were losing just 2 members. So they have a lot of guns to work with and they have a lot of economy to keep their snowball going. But now that the code has already been broken from the side of Team INAZUMA, will Team Insignia be able to snowball their own first win into multiple other consecutive ones? Because you do have to remember, the composition that they are running gets much more stronger on the side of defense if they play their cards right. But that Astra smoke, CA.
It was a fake. Yep.
Oh
I love it.
my god.
I love it. I think Deathscope might be my new favorite player. The fake
Oh
smoke
my
was
God.
just so good, man. Like, the fake smoke catching both the players in the mid area, Omkar and fired up completely off guard. They're like, oh wait, we got smoked. Let's just shoot and try to back up, take another position. They're like, Insignia be like, it was a fake smoke. They take both of them out, their backs turned towards the wall. But hey, let's get back to the round, because INAZUMA, they're not giving up just yet. Spawn, Cone, and the Killjoy picking up a kill each will mean that INAZUMA now 3 versus 2 against Insignia. Insignia trying to pull off this round. You cannot afford to lose this, especially after the first 2 kills go through. And Deathscope trying to make that happen. He finds one kill. Nightzera with the trade, meaning it's 1v2, but all of INAZUMA really know. You can see Hunter Fury coming out. But the dodge will not happen. INAZUMA get the win despite what happened in the starting.
Oh, that's just bullying at that point. You don't do that to Shloksi. Shloksi is like, I'm gonna get away from this. I'm gonna survive. And even if you do survive, Code's probably just gonna peek you and shoot you down. Even if you get that one kill. It was just pincered from both angles. And at the very end, it was such a promising start coming on down from the side of Team Insignia, but at the very end of it all, the execution was just not really there. The fact that they actually opted to go in for a chase on Nightzera from the side of Vikrant was very questionable. You don't need to chase that Killjoy. You just let her go and make your own push. Just have someone watch that flank area. That's all that you need to do. And Vikrant, I think that he's a little bit too frustrated. Opting to go in for a mid swing, knowing your opponent has an operator when you just have a sheriff in your hand. very questionable to say the least.
Fired up, picking up another kill off of the same spot, nonetheless, will mean that, as you can say, maybe a bit of frustration coming out for Insignia right now. But they are on the map, still trying to make something happen. Is Tippy leading the charge? The Blade Storm in hand, needs to take out Fired Up, but they're walking straight into his scope, into his crosshairs. And this might just be Fired Up for a chance for him to get an ace. But the concuss does come through, he dodges it barely. Does spot out that knives and knows that there's people moving in through A shot. The smoke coming in. Stippy moves in. Stippy, the cross will miss. The right click will land, but the trade is there. Spawn ready to back his jet up. Will pick up a double and leave Shlok's last man standing. Now Omkar, I think in the smoke, the shadow plane, I guess I have to call it now, 1v3 pulls out the Killjoy lockdown, but he's getting pushed in all angles, and no flick to get one kill. His turret will reveal the other, but Nike Zera able to take him out. Just almost impossible task for Shloksi there, so makes perfect sense. But 8-1 aggressive, 8-1 right now. Insignia need to get it to at least 8-4 to have a comfortable shot at a comeback. Otherwise, it's gonna get really, really hard.
I'm still just thinking of the Omkar situation. I thought that, honestly speaking, I thought it was like Sarah holding down with Omkar inside of the side, and I'm like, wait, how did Omkar die? I was literally so confused for a second, but still, hey, a little bit of a comical moment down in these series times, because now on this 8-1 scoreline, Team Insignia, they are getting a taste of their own medicine. After what happened in the first map, it's gonna get even more difficult down here right now. But look at the utility usage as well coming on down from the members of Team INAZUMA. They're playing it so well together. They're using every single ability in conjunction with one another. The shock darts are going to be raining in beautifully as well. And Cone, he's doing such a good job with every single bit of his own utility. And Spawn, he's just having a field day. This is his world, and we're pretty much living in it at this stage. 19-3 on the scorecard, and he's looking for more. He's just shutting them down. He's going in left, he's going in right, and he wants another ace for himself. Knows exactly what Tippy's going to be holding, but a little bit too aggressive, and the crosshair placement just not on point. Instead, it's going to be Tippy with that Vandal, one tapping him into the next dimension. 8-1 on the scorecard still, but a 4 versus 2 situation. Really hard for the side of Insignia to bring this one back, but if anyone can do it, it can be the side of Insignia.
4 on the map. They're trying to make a push happen through this mid-side area, but you can see for
30 seconds
INAZUMA, the hold is keep B main and keep the back of this side. One does get pushed out. That does mean mid uncovered for Insignia to push through, but fired up there with the operator from B main. 1 kill and the double dip to get another will mean that it's 9-1 in the favor of INAZUMA. The economy broken for Insignia, and potentially the map even at this point, because we saw this in the last map as well. Like, after Insignia started off really, really well, it became really hard for INAZUMA to pull back. And considering that both of these teams are of similar calibers, considering that both of them are the newer teams, I do think it becomes very hard to pull off a comeback because of that. I'm gonna count them out just yet though. I will say that INAZUMA, they look like a completely different team coming on to Ascent, and this is the team we were looking forward to, so I'm excited to see that. The Astral, really well though, really good. We get to see it in action, Tippy taking full advantage of it, able to pick it out. The TP from Omkar as he tried to escape, but the Leer will not let him see anything. Spawn will take him out, and Insignia actually go for a really nice rush execute. They get the site, and they will be able to get
Last
one.
player standing.
Plan for them, and such a beautiful couple of plays coming down from them as well. Understanding the position and then going in for fast rush because they can understand the tendencies coming out from the side of Team INAZUMA. They're able to shut them down really well, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a question mark for me, primarily because you need to consider something. All the members of Team INAZUMA, they're playing very textbooks level Valorant. Yes, they're playing it super well, but they're not doing any form of rocket science. They're just trying to hold down different side guys. They are being aggressive when they need to, and considering what we saw coming out from the side of Insignia in map number 1, this is not what we'd expect coming down on map number 2. Yes, they were able to win out on this round in particular because they were able to punish the mistakes coming on down from the side of Team INAZUMA, but were not able to do so before, and I think that they're a little bit too far gone to make that change right here and right now, because going on down to a 9-3 even makes it a really tall order to bring it back for your side for a possible comeback. But if they're able to take this next round, they should have a really good chance to bring it back for their side for the second half.
I think the primary difference between the maps is the fact that INAZUMA are no longer giving disadvantages in battles to Insignia, and for the first, like, I feel like 6 or 7 rounds, Insignia sort of got into the group expecting those disadvantages in battles to just come through for free. The fact that they didn't ended up costing them a lot because they were waiting for it and not actually getting control. So instead, you can see from the last round, they've decided to take matters into their own hands, stop playing reactively, rather start playing proactively. And you can see that on the map, they've split themselves up, gone for that A push, they've taken control, but they've not put down the spike just yet because it's on the other side of the map. Instead, they're waiting for the mistakes, and it's exactly what happens. Fired Up starts feeling a little too suffocated without the information, goes for an aggressive move forward to try to get some, and Tippy punishes him instantly. The lockdown not gonna go down, but traded out for the Sova ult. We can't be like, just build different, man. I take out the lockdown and the player to get an advantage for my team. Now, it is 4v3 on the map, but don't count out Spawn just yet aggressive. He's the top fragger by a mile in this map right now, and he can make the difference. Has one flash to his name, and he's going to try to use it moving. Finds one kill, the distance to get himself out. Vikrant with the trade ready though, so it is still Insignia with the advantage. 3v2 on the map. Insignia just trying to play their post first. They need to play it safe, maybe put down the Cosmic Divide.
Make that way happen, but at the same time, will they be able to do so? Because Cone is in such an isolated position. If he just gets one kill, this could be what they need, but the shots are just not connecting. So he's actually going to be able to get the kill, but they need to make a run for it. The shotguns are going to be connecting, but the guns are not in their hand. 0.1 second, ladies and gentlemen. He nearly was able to do it as well.
Switching sides.
Nearly there, but it's just not gonna be enough. Was not able to go that little bit of an extra mile. Make it for his team, but really good try, because at that stage I thought that Vikrant was not going to be able to get that kill down onto him. He did not have the gun in his hand, but he was able to pull it out just in the nick of time, get that finishing blow off. But really well played from the side of Team INAZUMA when it came down to their own defensive side. And now that they're on the attacking side, they should be at the driver's seat because they were so aggressive down on their own defensive side. I'm really looking to see what happens down here on the attack.
Yeah, it does also add into the fact that the Astra are going to be a lot more comfortable on the defense here, able to sort of play the anchor role by herself, almost as a pseudo sentinel. So we will see if Omkar is able to sort of amp up the aggressiveness on his Omen to really make that pick count on the attacking side. Now, for INAZUMA, it's going to be split A execute. Two people moving towards the A shot as the Sova gets the information of who is there towards the A main. The drone does not reveal anything, but does clear out A main. Instead, on the other side, it is INAZUMA moving in. Zera, he'll get one clear out A shot, and Spawn will use that as a cue to go further. Takes out another kill, and that's the plant gonna come down for the side of INAZUMA. Vikrant, though, ready for the jump from Fired Up, will take him out, and that does mean it's 4v3 on the map. Now, Vikrant just trying to get another peek for himself, but since he doesn't, gonna step back, wait for his team, set up the recon for his team, and in goes Insignia on the retake. It's Tippy to find the first kill. They've cleared out the site, but they haven't cleared out Imen yet, and they're gonna do that with Tippy taking out Omkar. 2v2 on the map now. As they take the defuse, they pick up Zera and Tippy on the forefront of this retake, looking for Cone, but Cone takes him out with a nice right click. Now the fake comes on through, and Cone trying to shoulder peek, does get the information that the defuse is not going down, steps back, but another fake defuse. Vikrant is not going for it. God, this is too good. Cone with a huge clutch, composed and coming out up front for INAZUMA. That was absolutely humongous. That win, if it had gone the other way around, I feel like it might have been the foundation for a possible comeback.
That's for sure, and the fact that Cone was able to pull off such an eventful clutch as well. He just played with his feelings. Like, he's like, Vikrant, you're never gonna touch that spike. That spike is mine. He just showed a bullet, went out away, pretty much ran towards the other side, ran back, and Vikrant is like, what is this man doing? Why is he doing this? Why am I here? And the spike just went boom right then and there. Beautifully done from the side of Cone to take that round away from their side. And with another aggressive dashing going on through, Dippy, he just has a shorty in his hand, and he needs to look behind him because there's a guy just holding on there, and he's just opting to go in for that play. Fired Up is going to be able to get one kill. He'll get tagged on really low levels of HP though. Not going to get taken on down by Vikrant. So that's going to hurt him just a tiny little bit, but Drill comes in and just blasts him in the face with that Sheriff. Beautifully done. Back in. To try and get one more shot. If he just finds his headshot kill, that could have been the difference maker right then and there. But Cone He's gonna be able to shut down one. He's gonna be able to shut down two as well with Omkar on his side to find one more. 11-3 on the scorecard, CA. One more round for the side of Team INAZUMA to take us down onto match point. And honestly, CA, this seems very reminiscent of what happened down in map number 1, but the other way around.
I know, right? Like INAZUMA right now on their pick are showing a like absolute next level of dominance the way Insignia did in map 1, and it makes sense, I guess, considering that the teams obviously will pick out maps that they're most comfortable on. Now I do notice that Fired Up is actually good for Vandal, so not necessarily a full bonus for INAZUMA, but since 4 of their players are carrying Spectres, it's effectively a bonus for them. They're gonna go for that A execute again, but this time shot is being held in a crossfire by Trill, and the Jet Trill will find one. I don't think they're expecting the Jet to be here, and it's exactly that Tippy able to take out INSIGNIA. A really nice 2-man setup by the Duelist to find the advantage for Insignia and keep their hopes alive in this map. Now Trill playing inside the smoke is playing on the edge, the very brink of danger, and it's gonna not pay off for him because INAZUMA are ready. Fired Up will take him out, and that might be the cue for the execute down interview.
Positioning is just not there from all the members of the side of team INAZUMA. They're all held up down towards this A-long position, but need to make the push happen soon enough. I really do believe that they're waiting for the recon ball to come back from Cone before they make that first initial pull. There's still a lot of time to work with. They need to be going for a couple of their own ways. Quick runs, just squeezing out the shoulder, spots out, Fired Up down near the A-long angle. So at this stage, they need to go and make it happen because there is absolutely no time to make a fast rotation down towards that B side to make that difference happen. With that one recon ball, Vikrant, he just revealed all of their positions. Everyone's going to be making that mad dash down towards their backhand corner. Fired Up does get caught out by the paranoia, so that's gonna hurt just a tiny little bit, but at the same time, Code and Fired Up, they make that difference. They're gonna be able to get 2 kills for themselves. Looking for another one. Slowsy, he gets sacked out of 33 HP. Will this be possible even? It was a 5 versus 3 situation, and they're losing it out right here and now. Omkar gets another kill down on the death scope, and Slowsy, he's only 23 HP and he has nowhere to run. Fired Up with a beautiful headshot straight to the dome of Slowsy to take him on down. 12-3 on the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen, and this is Team INAZUMA. They come back harder than ever. Map number 1 was a dominant win coming out from the side of Team Insignia, but it seems as though INAZUMA, they are back and they are ready to get this win and get the vengeance that they deserve.
I mean, in a 3v5 situation, after their positions are revealed, INAZUMA realized that there's only one way out of that position, which is to move forward, find the battles and win them, and they do exactly that. Insignia should not be giving those 1v1 duels to them, but they do that and they lose, and as you said, from 5v3 they end up giving match point to INAZUMA, which will mean that I think we're all set for Haven right here. Now an aggressive push is coming down towards B main by Insignia, but is shut down by the Killjoy in Ixera. Instead, once again, it's gonna be a mid to A push, a split A push where they take full A main control. The drone gives them all the information they need, and they try to make their way in from A shot. But this time Vikrant is ready. He picks up one, and the headshot is there with barely enough bullets to pick up the second. Only he finds one, but Trill with another. Insignia fighting back at the edge of their loss, making sure to keep themselves alive. 4v1 on the map. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Trill will take him out, and that's 12-4 on the map for Team Insignia. Not out just yet, Aggressive.
Pretty much reminiscent of what happened in map number 1, but it's happening on the reverse. It's like deja vu. It was a 12-3 scoreline. It was the side of Team INAZUMA keeping their dreams alive, taking it down to a 12-4. Maybe one more round as well to, like, you know, just say that it's very much scripted. It's supposed to happen. And we set all of this up. But honestly, ladies and gentlemen, we set nothing up. It's just both of these teams not wanting to lose out here. And it's just absolutely incredible to watch, to see the very least, because the fact that Team Insignia are able to keep things going this far and not have given up just yet just goes to show that this team has a lot of fighting spirit and they just want to keep things going for their end. But now with the push is coming on down, the ultimate has been popped from the side of Insignia. He wants to get that first initial pick up, but he's not going to be able to spot out Code. He's right on the right-hand side. He probably could have gotten such a beautiful kill as well because the recon drone was now going on down from his sidelines. But Tippy, he gets caught out by such a beautiful play. Tippy. That's just a feels bad moments.
Yeah, Insignia not able to take down the lockdown. It cost them a lot. Because now on the site, it's 5v3. Make that 4v2, a 1v1 trade coming out. Now, INAZUMA, they've used that Omen ultimate to get over to the other side of the map, get the spike planted, and they have Sova down towards the A main to take full control. This plant is formidable from INAZUMA. They have the heaven control with the Killjoy and her turret. They have the shot control with the Omen, and then the Sova watching the flank while fired up maintains that A main angle. He's gonna find people coming into his crosshair first. The recon will reveal there's a couple people there, but now Insignia they're trying to move it for the retake, but they can't check every angle. Nice there, takes one out, but Trill able to answer back. Get a bonus onto fired up, meaning it's a 1v2. Looks for the fake defuse, but we've seen Cone already in this position. Deja vu it is, he's gonna get blinded, he's gonna get shocked. He's gonna get a bullet in his head for all of his troubles. 13-4, INAZUMA will take map 2 and come out swinging, absolutely dominant. Show themselves off in their pick.
13-4, 13-5. Pretty much everything happened here. And the story is set. Both of these teams, they're very much evenly matched. And it's all about the map advantage, seemingly. Every single time we consider both of these teams, like, it feels as though we're watching a literal movie. There are ups, there are downs. Map number 1 was a literal up. Map number 2 was a down and an up at the same time. Everything is happening here. And here, Team INAZUMA being able to do something like this, just looking at the scorecard itself. Spawn, 25-10 with a 375 ACS. He just absolutely blew everyone out of the water. And Sloxy, we thought that he would be a little bit more explosive here, but Insignia, they just dropped the ball seemingly. A little bit too much pressure, and the presence that the side of Team INAZUMA have just shut them down completely.
Absolutely, man. Like INAZUMA just came out absolutely huge, and we have a lot to talk about with respect to this map. So let's go over to the match highlights and take a look at the different situations where I feel like Insignia maybe just got caught really off guard, not because of the map or because of the team, but I feel like mostly because of the fact that they were just expecting a completely different INAZUMA. Like at the start of the map, where INAZUMA were a lot more proactive. I don't think Insignia were expecting that at all. Instead, they were expecting INAZUMA that makes mistakes like they did in Icebox, and that did end up really, really hurting them. INAZUMA, Insignia, both of these teams are really set up for a really cool map 3 aggressive.
Speaking at this stage, you can already see that Team INAZUMA, they're shining prior to the lightning. That is for damn sure. Because at the very beginning, we were writing them off being like, hey, maybe they're just not feeling as comfortable and maybe they're not going to be able to go up against the likes of Team Insignia. But as soon as Ascent rolled on around, they're like, nah, you just got to sit down and you're going to watch exactly what we can do. We are explosive, we are fast, and we can be very tactful in the way that we want to approach the map. And that's exactly what they did. There was so much innovation as well on a couple of the rounds that they were trying to hold. They were being aggressive, they were being defensive, they were going in for double peaks, and they were playing for the trades. But for the side of Team Insignia, in my eyes, here, it felt as though there was a massive disconnect between the teammates. It felt as though no trades were coming on through whatsoever, like in Icebox, and I think you can agree with me as well, that there were trades happening constantly. But on the map of Ascent, how many trades happened for the side of Team Insignia? There were very few. It felt as though Spawn was just killing like 3 people all at once, and no one was able to trade him on out. And that just goes to show that the positioning was just not there, and maybe a little bit of a communication gap coming on down from a couple of the players from the side of Team Insignia. It does happen after what happened down in map number 1. You get a little bit overconfident, but you can bring yourself back from that and make that difference for your team. And now it's just on a 1-1 scoreline. Both of these teams are now going to have their backs against the wall, and it's just going to be the person who is able to be a lot more consistent moving on down onto the third map, being Haven.
It just perfectly set up for us. The new kids on the block, Insignia, trying to make sure that their dominant first map does not go down the drain on Haven, and then the team in INAZUMA trying to pull back. As you said, almost reminiscent of their anime storyline, but here we'll go set up for map 3 because I know all of you are really excited for it, and we'll be back really soon with the TEC Gauntlet Season 1 powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. See you in map 3 on Haven. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WT Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. I'm Sia, joined by Aggressive on the desk, and we're here to bring you the final ultimate map of the best of three series between Team Inazuma and Team Insignia. Let's quickly go over to the map details to see what we do have in store, Aggressive, as we recap what happened in map 1 and map 2. I don't think there's much of a recap, especially considering it was dominant, but talk to me about what you can expect from teams going into map 3 from what we know from the first two.
Think of Icebox and Ascent, bind it together, and their baby has to be Haven, with just the third side coming out somewhere. That's pretty much it, because both of these teams, they're gonna have a little bit more of trouble. Inazuma showing that when it comes to textbook-based maps of Valorant, they are really potent and really powerful. And from the side of Team Insignia, the more complex the map, the more potent they are on there in particular. And Haven, it's just the middle ground between that. So in my eyes, I'm kind of expecting this to go into overtime really easily, CA. And I know this could be hard to say, but at the same time, I'm making this prediction. This could easily go down to a 13 and 11, or it could go to a 12 and 12. I don't know how many overtimes. I just gave up counting from now on.
I'll tell you what, irrespective of how good the map is, I have to give a shout out to how good this champ select screen is. Cause like, damn,
Yep.
that looks clean,
Yep.
right? Like you get to see the whole cinematic of the map coming in, you get to see the teams, you get to see the agents picked up as well. And talking about the agents picked up, TP going to move on to the Phoenix. He's been playing the Jet, so that's a bit of a surprising move. Where Trill moves on to the Jet. He played the Reyna last game for Insignia. That's going to be an interesting switch up. But on the other side, for the side of Inazuma, they're like, you know what? The composition with Spawn and the Reyna worked beautifully for us on Ascent. We're just going to continue that momentum on forward onto Haven. And I will say, like, when I look at both the compositions, it's very, like, even though it's very similar, they're very drastic differences. The Phoenix versus the Reyna and the Cypher versus the Killjoy. I feel like in general, Insignia has a lot more options, but Inazuma has a lot of firepower.
One thing in my eyes that I really want to see in particular is a little bit more of utility coming on down on this map in particular, because on Haven, this is a map where utility reigns king. And now, when it comes down to the side of Team Insignia, they have a lot of utility to work with, especially because they have that Phoenix in their arsenal. But for the side of Team Inazuma, they don't really have that similar level of luxury. They need to rely a lot more in their gunfight capabilities, and will they be able to do so is the real question. And just as I was talking about that, fired up, he just proves me wrong. He's like, yeah, I think I can rely on my gunfights. I can just go in for a headshot and just take someone down.
Oh, you see Tippy coming in though. He finds the trade onto fired up, and that will mean it's 4v4 on the map. The positions reset with neither team on the control. Right now, in terms of positioning, the advantage is for... I think we are facing a bit of a technical issue, so I'm not sure if this round will end up going through. We'll find out in just a second, but till then, us to talk to you about what you can expect from this map. Like, instantly noticing that Insignia is on the attack, it's that Phoenix I'm looking towards. The ult-top control is going to be the name of the game for me, because you need to get that Phoenix ultimate online as soon as possible. And for the other team, like, it becomes a lot more Killjoy dependent. If you can play around her very, very well, then it works through perfectly. Now, aggressive for you, like, who do you think is going to be the X factor for either team?
In my eyes, the main X factor would be going on down towards the side of Trippy, because Tippy being that type of player that we have seen him on that Jet, will he be able to play that Phoenix down properly? If he's able to, and bring that same level of aggression of that Jet now down to the Phoenix, who is just allows even more aggression because he's much more of a self-sufficient fragger instead of relying on a much more of the team play and coordination basis that the Jet would need. If he's able to do exactly that on that Phoenix, he'll be a driving force on this map in particular. And when it comes down to the side of Team INAZUMA, of course, I'm going to be looking towards Spawn. Because whenever we think of Reyna, we want that Reyna to get at a bare minimum of 2 kills around. Because if that Reyna is able to do that, you're getting so much value out of that Feast and Famine champion to make that maximum difference come on down for their side. Hopefully Team INAZUMA will be able to bring it on back, because if they're able to showcase the same level of prowess and strategical advantages that they had in map number 2, they should be the one to take it all away. But at the same time, just imagine what the side of Team Insignia can do, because you do need to consider map number 1 was a showcasing of their game sense and their strategic prowess. If they're able to bring that to Haven, it could be a different ball game entirely.
Definitely. I think for me, it's going to be exciting seeing Trill on the Jet, because if I remember correctly from Icebox, Tippy was actually more of the entry fraggle Jet. He was not actually wielding the op a lot. It was Trill on the Sage picking up the operator, and now that he's on the Jet, he's going to have a lot more freedom to do exactly that. And as you said, a lot more agency for Tippy to play on that Phoenix for him to entry frag. But the same can be noted for INAZUMA on the other side. Like now with the Killjoy and the Reyna, like you can play double anchor almost. The Killjoy anchoring C and Garage, while the Reyna plays proactively or anchors A while your team stacks B, or plays with the Reyna to push forward onto A. Like either ways, it works out absolutely huge for both of the teams. Like what I want to see though with these teams now is how they will end up adapting in general to each other, since they've got a bit of a taste, a bit of a flavor of each other's playstyles from map 1 and 2. So map 3 is going to be all about the mind games. I feel like the better IGL just comes out on top.
As I agree with you on that in particular, but on Haven, my hands are up in the air, because Haven is one of those maps that has the notoriety of being the longest running maps in particular, because you can never really be sure of what exactly could be coming on down from this map. Both of these teams can easily go down to overtime. It can even be a 13-1 scoreline. It could be a 13-13, even on going down to overtime number 5. That's what Haven is in particular. This map is just so unpredictable in its nature of how the teams are going to play it, because the teams really need to feel themselves out and see what is right and what is wrong. And the thing in my eyes that I'm really hoping to see is Team INAZUMA, they apply more towards the side of map control. If they play too defensively here on Haven, like the same way they did in Icebox, they're going to lose out on so much value, because you need to consider something. Team Insignia, they love map control. They will fight for it, and they will literally commit all of their resources to gain a portion of the map in their favor before they go in for site execution. If Team INAZUMA are not able to force them to invest way more utility, or if they give it away for free, they're going to be in a massive disadvantage moving on forward on the map of Haven.
Now, a quick update for all of the viewers. The map is almost ready to start. It was a bit of a tech issue previously, so we just made sure to smooth everything out so we can get started without any issues, and it's exactly what is going to happen. Full reset, the same agents of course, but you can see that the players will be restarting with Insignia on the attack and INAZUMA on the defense. Looking at the side of INAZUMA, it's as we expect, playing that Killjoy over on the C side, where of course in the pistol round she doesn't necessarily have the alarm bot, but in future rounds she can put the alarm bot onto Garage and effectively hold both C and Garage at the same time, and maybe even play towards the P while leaving her utility in C, becoming that core anchor. That's why I'm going to keep my eye on Nightzera. He cannot afford to play outside his 40-meter boundary at any point, because that's the weakness of Killjoy when it comes to Haven. He needs to play very slow and needs to be very calm when it comes to rotations, especially making sure not to over-rotate, because as you said, aggressive. Insignia loves map control, and when a team loves map control, I know for a fact they love rotating.
For sure, and we're also just about to start soon enough. The teams are trying to fix up their technical difficulties, and with the timer now going on through, we're finally going to be able to see how the side of Team Insignia are gonna approach their own attacking side, because you do need to remember something. They're going in for the same strat that they did previously, and just look at on the map. There are 3 people holding down towards the side of A, and they're gonna be making for a mad push down towards the 6.
Hey, like, I mean, it's the double sewers duelist, but usually when you see this, you see one duelist going down sewers and the other accompanying the Sova down to long so they can get the double peak. But instead, both of the duelists moving down into sewers. This is going to be really interesting. The recon board coming out gives them a lot of info, but Fired Up, he just gets tagged and has to move back. The smoke setup, but all of this is just the bait. Look at this. Fired Up made it look like there's nobody there, and the drone, I don't think it's spotted out Arena yet, but the corner is checked. Well done by TP to take spawn out, and it's a fast execute from Insignia. He will chime in with another to make it a double kill for himself. The spike goes down, and I feel like INAZUMA, they just got completely unaware. Their bait did not work.
It felt as though Sport, he literally fell asleep at that stage. That's happened to everyone. He was expecting one more player to maybe push on through, but the trigger discipline, you can never do that in those type of scenarios, especially when the enemy team is rushing at such a rapid pace. But look at Trill's crosshair placement. His positioning is just so good. But Dyke Sarah with his movement, he's gonna be able to dodge out left, he's gonna be able to dodge out right, and now it's gonna be going on down to a Sentinel 1 versus 1. Who's gonna be better? Will it be the Killjoy? Will it be the Cypher? It's gonna be Slopsy instead with a classic slap to the face. Take him on down. Already it's a 0-1 scoreline, and with such a beautiful start as well for the side of Team Insignia, ladies and gentlemen. He did it so well, and at the very end of it all, I think that small misplay at the very beginning is what cost his Team INAZUMA this entire round.
So aggressive. I have a question. Now, I noticed that a few of the players on Insignia are using the Forsaken skin line. And when you get a kill at the end of the Forsaken skin line, you see the animation, right? With the angel wings or whatever, the fallen angel wings. Now, Red Bull gives you wings. So technically that means the wings come on and the dead player, the INAZUMA, have wings. Does that mean it is...
Yes, they're using the QR code. They're using the QR code, and everyone from back at home should also use the QR code down near the bottom when it does show on up. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, see it. Calm down. We can keep on moving down to the round itself. Big Crowd chimes in with 1 kill. Stormzy with another one. Deathscope just chimes on in. They heard your call, CA. They're all just sprouting out wings at this stage.
The round didn't start off amazingly for Insignia, but they've recovered very, very well. It's a 3v2 on this site, and they will be able to get the spike planted. Now, getting into their post plants, they have Beal in control, as well as window. But finding 1 kill is huge. He's able to pick up a gun for himself, but with just 22 HP, this is going to be a very difficult task. It's just about damage. If he can pick up 1 more kill, that's a splendid eco round for INAZUMA. But Fired Up now moving in. He's going to walk into a crossfire as Deathscope and Cloakzy seem to know exactly where he is. Fired Up instead just waiting. I think he's looking for the exit frags, which I really like. A smart move. Realizing 22 HP, not able to make some. But I think I cast the curse him. As soon as I said he's waiting, he stops waiting and goes out and ends up dying. But hey, despite Insignia picking up the round, the fact that INAZUMA picked up 3 kills aggressive will mean that going into the next round, not only do INAZUMA have the weaponry advantage, but also it will mean that there is no bonus to come through from Insignia. So I wonder if they just make a choice and end up going for an eco despite winning. It's a very hard decision for Insignia, I feel like.
This stage, I feel as though bonus would be a better idea, but at the same time, they're not opting going for it. They want to invest in those slow buys. They don't want to try and give this round away, because you need to understand something, that the side of Team INAZUMA, they're nothing to scoff at, and their buy rounds are just as deadly. So even when you play on that bonus, it could be dangerous, but it feels as though all the members of the side of Team Insignia, they're making their way down towards the A side. Slowly but surely, they're using a lot of utility to take aggressive control. But once again, the defensive hold is strong from the side of Team INAZUMA. They're not giving much away. The Algon should be able to spot out 1 player, does spot out a couple. So with that, the call should come on through. Players should be rotating down towards that A side. But it feels as though mind games are being played. Insignia, they are making no noise as of right now. They're just using a lot of utility to try and beat out as many shots as they possibly can. KP does spot down the first initial play, and the shots are going to be raining on in, and it's going to be fired up. Being able to take down Vikrant from a beautiful off angle for himself. And with that, that's going to be the first initial kill, and such a crucial kill as well. Because now, there is no Sova, there are no recon bolts, there are no shock guards, and specifically no Owl drone. So this execution down towards the seaside has just gotten even harder for them to do.
The execution very telegraphed. They're walking into Knight. He only gets one though, and that is huge for Insignia because a 1-for-1 trade against an anchor Killjoy is completely worth it. None of the utility used. Knight going down will cost the team a lot. Because now 4v3 on the map. INAZUMA, they're gonna try to go for the retake. Now they do have that man advantage, but the post plants are there for Insignia. They're trying to set up crossfires with each other, and with Tippy finding the first kill, it's gonna be a really nice setup for them. The blind does come out, Paranoia, but the flash is there in return. They be fired by Noka, finding one kill, and Tippy stuck in a corner, taken out. Phone will take him out, and INAZUMA, despite Knight going down, will be picking up the round, will be picking up the buy round and making it 2-1. This buy round victory especially huge because, as we talked about earlier, this was a round where Insignia invested as well, despite normally expecting that third to be an eco. So now you can see for Insignia, it is likely going to be an eco, and that does give room to INAZUMA to just level it up a little bit. And so far, it seems like the teams keeping up very, very even with each other. I like that.
Start is really textbook Valorant at this stage. Both of the teams losing out on the pistol round and the pistol round and the first initial bonus round, and then coming on down to the buy round and winning out on that. Really well done from both of the teams. They're able to keep the flow of the match going in their favor, but at the same time, I like the idea, Deadscope, but you know for a fact that Fired Up loves to be so damn aggressive down towards that backhand angle, but at the same time, Tippy and Solsi, they're going to be able to get so much value for themselves as well. Nightzera going in for that spam, he's going in for those shots, but Cone, he just pops that Hunter's Fury and is ready for that kill. Slowzy is going to be the first one to get taken on down. Trill with only 8 HP, once again, in pretty much an impossible situation, and I think we've seen this guy in these type of situations way too often, but his off-angle position should give him at the bare minimum of 1 kill. Nightzera, he should not be ready for it, but he actually expects it. He does get that kill down on the Trill, and that's going to be a 2-for-2 on the map already, but still, no harm, no foul. They were able to get 3 kills, they were able to get 2 kills, sorry, so that eco round in particular was very successful. But now going on down to their second buy round, they need to make this work, otherwise it could just be all but over.
Yeah, definitely. I think the drone revealing that there's nobody in B meant that the only position left for him to be was the ceiling area. So Knight using the information from his teammate very, very well. And I love the fact that Cone used his ultimate proactively. Whenever I see no Killjoy on your opposite team, it's like a burden lifted off of the Sova's shoulders. But hey, back to this round, the runner back is online. The Phoenix moving in aggressively, but all of this is a fake. They try to keep control over multiple sides, but Fired Up is exactly that, fired up as he picks up 2 kills. Back-to-back shuts down any hope of the flank. Now they have got the spike planted aggressive, but they don't have enough time to get into post plants. Instead, it's gonna be the Killjoy lockdown coming through, and this round, it's starting to look really, really difficult for Insignia.
1 lineups, no nothing to try and get that first initial kill. Deadscope trying to go in for that kill, but look at that movement, Spawn! He just literally airstripped his way to victory pretty much, and that's it. He's just gonna throw out a recon ball, but that's all that he can do. There's nothing that he can do, nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Mikron, he fights the bullet and Spawn. That movement was just so clean. You have to give it to this man. A flawless round indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Team INAZUMA, they are coming out of the gates running once again, and they understand what the side of team Insignia are trying to pull. They want to go in for fast executions, they want to play for map control, but they're not giving any of that. If they invest any form of utility down onto one singular side, the side of team INAZUMA, they're retaliating almost instantly, sending one player to try and hold down that side line. They want to try and deter them from that singular push and push them down and funnel them towards the other sides where a lot more of the players are holding down at. This time around, they want to make that read down towards that B side, but instead, all the members from the side of Insignia, they're making their way down towards the side of A. They need to get this 1 kill, but Nightzera, he's not going to be able to find it. The shots are going to be raining on in. Umgar with a double kill. Umgar probably going to be able to get a stir, but not just yet. Oh, for a fact that one member is moving out from the right-hand side corner. The coaster placement is just not there. He needs to be careful, otherwise he could just bite a pretty nasty bullet from the side of Slokesy. But the push is going to be going on down, and so much value. Slokesy, it was on your left-hand side. You could have gone in for an easy kill, but that small misplay just cost you 1 more player already. A dink to the head coming on down onto the side of the Omen. So Omkar, he's on a pretty low levels of HP, a gun for the side of Deadscope as well. So this round's still very much possible for a win, but it's gonna be a tall order for all the members of the side.
Oh, the blind was huge. Let's go be able to pick up 2. Now look, Third knows where the Sova is as well as the Jet, since that's how his teammate died. Gonna go for Fired Up, but Fired Up ready. Takes him out with a headshot, and it will mean 4-2 for his team. Go and be like, bro, you have your ultimate. Please give me the defuse so I can pick up mine, and he'll get exactly that. And with that round, the eco gonna be broken again for Insignia because they didn't really do much damage to INAZUMA in that round. They will be able to get the buys here, but still right now with Fired Up picking up kill after kill and the comfortability, the cushion of money that INAZUMA have got going will mean that the operator will come online for Fired Up. I don't think I have to remind anybody here how impactful Fired Up was with the operator in Ascent. I fear that we might be seeing some of the same. Insignia have to come in prepared. They need to shut down that operator ASAP.
Now, the push going on down from the back end. How will the side of Team Insignia try and bring it back for their side? Because it feels as though all the members of the side of Team INAZUMA, they're not giving an inch of space away, and they are just ready for any form of a push that will be coming out from them. But the fact is that Aldron was a little bit too early coming on down from the side of Cone, so that could just come on back to bite him later on if one player does go down without any form of value. But look at all the members of the side. Signaling, gentlemen, they should be able to find that person who should kill an Omkart was just not ready for it with 9-0. He was ready for it instead. He's actually gonna be able to get a double kill. A beautiful play coming on down from the Killjoy anchor. And with that first initial 1-for-2 trade, that's gonna be a really happy play for all of them. Fired Up. He does have the Bladestorm in his hand. Not gonna be able to use it just yet. Wants to go and Axel Blaze style, but the roundhouse kick is not gonna be coming on just yet. To play it slow, he wants to play it systematically, he wants to wait for his teammates to come on down in. Swan's gonna be able to find out one initial player, he's gonna be able to find that shot as well. Tippy not gonna be able to get that. The last remaining member holding down from the side of Long, the operator in his favor as well. Slopesy able to get a good shot down on his spawn, but Nice Sarah gets an immediate trade. 5-2 on the scorecards for the side of Team INAZUMA, ladies and gentlemen. And after what happened in map number 1, seems like they're showcasing their real skill down on map number 2 and map number 3.
Hello, Spawn? What? Like, that second kill onto Tippy was insane. He's caught in the trap fire. Usually players will start panicking when they're there. He's like, nah, I don't care. I know my Empress is online. I just need to get the headshot onto Tippy and I'll be out of this trap fire in an instant because the trap fire can't hit you while you are invulnerable and invisible. Damn, Spawn is playing good, but so is Fired Up, and these duelists firing on all cylinders. And it really does feel like INAZUMA have come online. Icebox was just a blip, but Ascent and Haven, they're their playgrounds and they're making them count. Now Insignia, they're gonna try to pull off some sort of a comeback here. The force buys are here, they have the weapon. Just one player on the Bulldog, they're trying to use the Sova ultimate to try and get a pick, but instead all they've got is a tag. And with that Hunter's Fury down, it's gonna cost them because now they don't have an answer to a potential lockdown that Nike might bring out in the next few rounds. Now Insignia, they have full mid control for themselves. They have someone covering A site as well as a trapper in C to give them information. So they know that they can go wherever they want, but it's gonna be B side that is the execute. The cage is being laid down as they take control. It's up to Trill to find one kill. If he can find one kill, yeah, he does exactly that. They're gonna find the execute. What? So that shot was nuts.
Oh my god, Omkar, those spams were just so clean. He knew the position, he knew exactly where to look at, but at the same time, looking from the back end, it's actually gonna be able to find his third as well. Cole's gonna be able to get that immediate trade up at 9-0. Beautiful spot to shut down another Fire Up comes in with the operator and a fire tornado to do a roundhouse kick down with that operator to take down Tippy, but here, it's a little bit of a question mark in my eyes what the side of Team Insignia are trying to do when it comes down to their strategic plan. It feels as though they want to make a push down towards the B side. Understandable. But where are the smokes? It feels as though the smokes are just non-existent. Everyone is running down into the B side without any smokes from Death Scope.
Yeah, a bit of a disconnect perhaps in their team. I'm not really sure, like there's no reason for that. Maybe he only had one smoke, but even then at least that one smoke would help them out a lot. But now this is their eco, they're trying to just rush in onto A, but they're getting damaged everywhere. The shotgun doing the work necessary. He won't able to pick up one. Rill finds a take, but Omkar is there for the backup to pick up. It's just a massacre all around, but the nades are coming through. It's gonna be Spawn using the chaos, moving through the cage and the smoke. picks up the triple and makes it 7-2. I don't think there's any stopping this INAZUMA side aggressive. It's exactly like the anime team that you were talking about. Like, they're just all the way up, man. They're scoring in every possible way they can.
Start from the bottom and they rise to the top. That's exactly what happened. Map number 1, and let's just not talk about that. Map number 2, oh my god. Map number 3, oh yeah, it's time to take over the world. That's pretty much the words that are probably going through the heads of Team INAZUMA right now, and they are taking it too hard because it feels as though they've gotten into the heads of Team Insignia. This is not what you'd expect coming out from them, because this team, they're very calm, they're very calculated, but now with the massive disconnect when it comes down to the terms of communication, would just be a massive problem for their end. Because now, with the smokes going on through and so many of the positions being taken up so well from all the members of the side of Team INAZUMA, this could be a pretty bad signing for them. But at the same time, I really do not like this play. Both of the duelists pulling on down from the mid angle. No one opting to go in for any form of peaks. No smokes available. And they're just dry peeking these corners pretty much. No flashes, no nothing. The utility is not being used in proper conjunction with one another. Instead, it could have been better to just use Arena in these type of plays. Taking it slow, the smokes are finally going to be coming on now. The purple does go on through, the shots are going to be raining on in, and Spawn, he just wants to go in for a couple of his own shots. He's going to be able to survive, and he's actually going to be able to run away. No more bullets in his hands though. He needs to go on down fast, but Trill, he punishes him beautifully for it. And from the back end, they're going to be able to shut down a lot. Nightmare is going to be able to find out one more. A little bit of a whip coming on down from the side of Deathscope, but he still does get the kill, and now it's just going to be fired up. Beautifully done from all the members of the side of Team Insignia. They were able to properly go in for that execution, take the side, and get the spike plan down. And now down in this 1 versus 5 for the side of Fired Up, I don't think he's gonna survive for long.
Yeah, he wants to save his weapon, but he's going to be hunted from every single angle. First challenge likely to be Desco, but this is a bit of a mind game here. I think they're expecting Fired Up to go to the opposite side of the map from where he was expected to be, but he's just like, I'm just gonna sit in my position. You guys aren't checking it at all. I'm looking for some exit frags, and he's gonna be able to save his weapon through. A huge round for the side of Insignia though. Not only do they get the win, but they get the win in a flawless fashion, meaning that they save all their weapons and their economy gets a boost because of it. Now with this win, there is a huge chance that they can push for 7-5, but push for 7-5 with weaponry almost guaranteed in both of the next rounds here, and that is going to give them a chance to go over to their defensive side and try to pull off a comeback on the same. Now, I do want to see from INAZUMA a bit of adaptation. We've seen mid control repeatedly being taken from Insignia. So I want to see INAZUMA perhaps move Fired Up into B on that operator on the vertical angle so he can shut down the aggressive push. As long as he gets one kill, that mid control is definitely punished and you get value out of that operator as well. Like a bit of switch up needs to be done in the defensive formations. Otherwise, Insignia are going to keep abusing this mid control that they have.
Expected INAZUMA to play a little bit more aggressive down here towards the side of mid, because here their aggressive playstyle would actually give them that tiny little bit of an edge that they need. But hey, in the previous rounds, it was working for them. They were playing it slow, they were playing it defensively, and the side of Insignia were not able to take them down. But now, in this round in particular, they need to change up their strategies, because if they go in for the same strat all over again, things could not work out in their favor. But looking at the map in particular, it feels as though they're actually playing the defaults once again. They're not going to be changing things up. But at the same time, look at the position of Fired Up. He's actually going in for such an aggressive peek down towards the side of C-Long, and that could just work out in their favor. This small change up with the operator being this damn aggressive down towards one sideline could just be the difference maker for Team INAZUMA. But at the same time, you also need to consider something else. That Team Insignia, now that they have tasted victory, they're not going to give it up that easily. Their morale is going to be high, their confidence is going to be high as well, and they could just be swinging corners left, right, and center without a care in the world, and could just win out on every single gunfight because of their unpredictable nature.
Absolutely. Like, I think it's gonna get really spicy from here. I hope your prediction pans out and we get an overtime, because I want to see every bit of action that we can possibly see from both of these teams, because they have been an absolute spectacle, a treat to watch, really. And it gives us an opportunity to really learn more about them. But having said that, I think either of the teams will be anxious to try and get an advantage, a momentum really going as soon as possible. Now, coming back to the map, though, talking about the setup, as you mentioned, like that C-long aggressive angle huge, but he's going to switch it up. Instead, going to go for a very aggressive mid-peak. And given the positions of Insignia, this could actually end up working out. You see Spawn also ready to move in aggressively from B mid. It's going to be fired up, taking the first peak. The shot
he's actually
blocked
headshot.
by the cage. It just prevents him, and the read from Shlogsy absolutely huge. Like, there's no reason for him to put up the cage except to just expect that operator to come through. So a beautiful read from Shlogsy, just stopping fired up in his tracks.
Actually, good shot though, because Trill, he got shot in the leg. They have a lot of HP to work with, but Spawn, beautiful jiggle coming down from him. He's gonna be able to hold down that backhand corner. And with the Alto now going on through, does spot out one initial player. And yep, good night. You're not gonna be able to survive for long, baby. You're actually gonna be able to get outboarded to Trill as well. You don't expect that to happen. Code, a beautiful Thunder's Fury taking down both of the duelists, and now there are no more flashes, there are no more dashes. You have nothing to work with to try and execute down on the side. You need to put all of your cards on the table, and you need to make this push happen. But Omkar, he has something else to say about it. He's gonna be able to take down Big Bronze, and with that rapid push coming on down from both sidelines, and the paranoia going on through as well, Spawn is actually gonna be able to survive, but he's too confused. He doesn't know where Skolzy went because of the paranoia still staying. Because you do have to remember, whenever you dismiss, it doesn't cleanse any of the CC effects that have been put on you previously on that side. With that Sloxy, he's going to be able to go on down to a 1 versus 2 situation. All of the positions are so beautiful from the members of Team INAZUMA. Fired up, holding down for the side of Under Heaven. He's trying to go in for the play, but already the positions have been found on out. So he's holding on down from the side of Greenbox and fired up. He just spots out a tiny little bit of his shoulder. Goes in for that shot, and a beautiful play indeed. The reaction time on this man is just so good. 8 and 4 on the scorecard, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be another round for the side of Team INAZUMA.
Last round in the half.
Sova ultimate from Cone there. Again, like, I appreciated this at the start of this map, and I'm gonna do it again because I love the fact that as soon as he gets some info on his own, he's willing to let the Hunter's Fury fly, knows that even if he gets one kill, it's worth it for his team because they're holding angles across the map. That one kill will make the difference because it also sort of disrupts the momentum, the control that Insignia have got over that particular area of the map. The fact that he takes out Trill as well to just get the assist on for Fired Up just makes it like an icing on the cake and double down on the suffering really that Insignia faced because of the ultimate. 8-3 on the scorecard, now aggressive with the Killjoy lockdown ready as well as Spawn's Empress. Like, usually you don't look at the Reyna ultimate to be very impactful. It's more of an individual thing, but since we've already seen the impact from it on Ascent and once on this map as well, these two ultimates combining with the fact that right now INAZUMA just look and on a completely different level, it's going to be a very difficult task for Insignia to make it 8-4, but they need to do that to give themselves a solid foundation for the second half. Back to it though. Once again, mid control is the name of the game. Insignia really like this approach.
Fired up. He's maybe playing with a little bit too much fire. Doesn't have to go in for that peak, but at the same time, it feels as though Tippy, this time around, he's like, nah, I'm just bad at this point. I'm not even gonna give anything off. But Omkar, he's gonna be able to answer back himself as well. Gets another kill down on the Trill. The trades are gonna be going on down. One duelist for one, but at the same time, it's gonna be a flash for a Jet. So that's not something that's that tradable to say the very least. But with the push going on down towards that seaside, so much control being established already. Omkar probably gonna be able to get a kill down as well. He should not have been able to get that whatsoever, but the trades do come on through nonetheless. So with no spike line going on down, all the members need to get themselves out of this side. They need to go down towards either the A side or the B side, because with that Killjoy lockdown and them not opting going for that plan, this could be a kill going on down from the side of Nightzero. He's actually gonna be able to get that kill down on the Tippy. The shots are not just gonna connect from the side of Sloxy, and that's gonna hurt quite a lot. I think the turret is having a little bit of a lag. Killjoy, you may need to give the turret a little bit of a tune-up. We all know that we're worried about him, but at the same time, Cone slowing him down from the top end, the side of Heaven. Spots out the hat of Sloxy, but that's pretty much it. You know everyone's position. One is holding down from inside of the side, and one is holding down from the back end of a long. With their positions revealed, things could be all but over for the side.
Player standing.
Logsy revealed a turret on one side, the Sova on the other. He goes down and Fired Up will clean it up. Takes out Death Scope to make it 9-3. Like in that situation, I like the execute from Insignia to go for C. I like the fact that once they see the fact lockdown coming through, they find the trades and they pull back a little
Switching
bit.
sides.
What I don't like is the full rotation onto A, because you at this level of pro, like you have to expect that the other team is going to think the same thing. They're going to think, oh, okay, Killjoy lockdown came through. We heard a shrouded step from the Omen, meaning they're trying to run away from the site. And we hear like it's very likely that they are actually going on to A. So the obvious steps for the defensive team to make is try to get some information either towards C or towards the mid area, and that's exactly where Naik was able to catch one person out. What I would have liked to see perhaps from Insignia is maybe fake the rotation by just running back, but actually staying there and then trying to go back onto C. We've seen this sort of fake approach from a lot of top tier teams like GA or, for example, and it usually ends up working out. They made the commitment though, and it did not end up working out. INAZUMA on a roll right now, aggressive from a dominant map 2 to 9-3 in the first half of map 1. Is there any stopping them?
I say it's seemingly none because Team INAZUMA, they're just firing up on all cylinders and they are not letting off on that gas pedal. They're not allowing the side of Team Insignia to breathe, to understand what exactly is happening on the map. And Team Insignia, they're falling into a loop. They're constantly going on down towards that A side. Honestly speaking, I have not seen them try and go and get that plant down onto the side of B. They have never fully committed to that side, like they have committed towards the side of A or maybe towards the side of C. And that's what's really hurting them. Sending both of your duelists to try and take B side control is not something that you'd expect. Maybe use your duelists to go in for a fast execution down towards the A side. Take that heavy control. Bring that to your advantage, but you're not really seeing any of that. And that's what's really causing them to fall into that loop. And now that they are down to their own buy round. Sorry, not their own buy round. Now they're down to their own defensive round. Team Insignia, they need to hold up a proper defense and they cannot lose out on this first round because if they do, that's going to be double digits going on down forward towards the side of Team INAZUMA. And with that, they could just take it all away, take it down to an 11-3, and that would be impossible odds to come back from.
Yeah, the pistol rounds are so important right now, and Insignia have to come out swinging. I'm particularly looking at Trill. Like, hasn't been as impactful on the Jet as he has been in the previous maps on, like, say, the Reyna or even the Sage before. I want to see him really step up. Maybe if they can get the pistol rounds, he can get the Operator online for himself, and then see a revival of that player, see a comeback of the team as well. I'm going to look at him to see if he can really push through, because right now, on the side of INAZUMA, every player is fired up. Like, I think Omkar, for example, a player that might have been a little missing in Icebox, really stepping up here in Haven. The spray, the anchor role that he's able to play, and the damage he's able to cause from time to time across the defensive half was absolutely humongous. I don't have to say anything about Spawn. I mean, we've seen the way he's just ruthless and continuously just dominating the duels he's able to take, and fired up on the Operator, completely different story. But hey, back to the round. Insignia trying to push through. They spot out Spawn and they take him out once again. Spawn trying to hold a corner and just caught sleeping a little bit. He will push the advantage, take down Omkar, and that's a spike dropped in Spawn aggressive. They've taken C side, but they don't have the spike.
Spike not being in their favor, it's gonna be a massive dent to their sidelines, but at the same time, it seems so fired up with that classic. What is he up to? He just gets 3 kills, 23 HP, and the shock dart is the main thing that caused this amount of damage. If it wasn't for the shock dart, he probably could have just gotten another ace going on through down in this round, but at the same time, the spike is in a very impossible situation. And if they're able to pick this spike up, it is going to be an absolute miracle, and a lot of the pressure will now fall onto the shoulders of Nightzera, because if he's not able to get at the bare minimum of 1 kill, I don't think so. This could just work out in their favor. Trill spots him out and gets that kill down onto 1 and fired up. He's in this impossible scenario. He's not going to be able to do much more. And just as I stated, if the Killjoy was not able to get that first initial pickup down onto Trill, it was already over.
AP coming up huge for Insignia, like the aggressive push backed up by his co-duelist in Trill to take full control of A lobby and punish INAZUMA for having the spike not near their execute. They take down Omkar and they get that spike. They're able to hold on to the angles and pick up the pistol round. We talked about how important this pistol round was aggressive. So the fact that they're able to do it while coordinating is going to give them a lot of hope and morale coming forward into the next few rounds. And again, a very similar approach. You see, the duelists, they're ready. They're moving in aggressively down towards that A-long area. And Trill is on the save. So the operator definitely on the cards if they can pull through a clean second round right here. Now, mid-control is the name of the game for the attackers. INAZUMA on their eco trying to make something happen. It's fired up on the Sheriff that you've really got to look at. If he can pick up one kill, get a gun for his team, then we know how much damage they can do in these eco rounds.
See if he can get a little bit of spam for himself, but instead it's gonna be Trill once again being able to get a beautiful shot down on a spawn, taking him down already, and another shot could just be on the table. What is exactly happening? The knife gets pulled down. Trill and Sarah. A big F in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone just filling on up. Fired up, goes in for a couple of his own shots with that Sheriff, and maybe finds something for his team. The flashes are going to be going on through another one tap straight to the face. Probably looking for another one, but the run and gun is just going to be a little bit too strong from the side of Slogsy, ladies and gentlemen. But at the very end of it all, hey, we had something fun to look at, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt for Nightzera. He's gonna be like, oh my god, I'm just gonna try to forget that. And for Trill, it's just gonna be like, oh my god, I got a triple kill and I saved. The operator should come online. It's exactly that. Like, you can see now, light shields and an operator picked up. The Vandal for Tippy as well. Normally, we want to see a bonus after they win the pistol and the second round, but considering that they are a significant number of rounds behind, every advantage they can get counts. So I actually like the investment from Insignia here. Try to just get as many rounds back to back as they can. Now, Slogsy's position is revealed, but Trippy playing to just destroy the recon. They don't know that he's here. This drop there is humongous. A read expecting a C-side execute, but fired up is ready. Takes down one side of the crossfire, meaning that scope is down. And with Trippy really low, it's gonna be fired up coming in for the second. Now Slogsy, he finds it right, and Trill coming in on the rotate will find another, but it's still 2v3. Insignia feeling the pain. Vikram comes in huge though. Finds one kill and now it's a 2v2 on the map. But the flank is there for Naik. He's gonna able to pick up the Sova on that hunt, on that drone. Caught out completely. And now Trill in a 1v2. He just needs to play this very, very safe. Either save it or find a kill and then try to go for a 1v1.
Stage, I don't think they're going to be giving up much whatsoever. Maybe Trill is going to be able to find out something, but he doesn't want to go in for that beat. Doesn't know that the spike has been dropped on the middle of the site. He just played a little bit more aggressive. Maybe he would have had that angle, maybe he would have gotten a kill, but that turret, yeah, it's still alive. It just hacked him down to 26 HP. He's like, nah, I'm going to save this operator. I'm going to go to the other side of the map. I'm just going to sit in my corner and think about what I did wrong in life.
Yeah, for Insignia, they're gonna chalk this round off as not great, but not bad considering that this was the buy for INAZUMA and they took 3 weapons off the board. It will give them an advantage going into the next. But for INAZUMA as well, double digits, despite the damage done to their eco, they're going to be ecstatic about the lead that they are able to maintain, because this is no longer about just sort of vengeance. This is no longer about trying to prove themselves. This is about taking the first set win once and for all, becoming the first team to take that first place position in Group A, and that's what is on the line here. Now, with that round over, we will get a chance to see what buys will come through for INAZUMA, and what I see is that it's mostly just normal. Like, the only difference is one player on a light shield and one player on a Spectre, and that's not pretty bad considering that one player from Insignia itself is going to be on a Spectre and Trill has to play on the light shield. So I would say in terms of weaponry, more or less equal from both of the teams. Obviously, the operator, the big crown jewel for Insignia, that sets them apart, and therefore you're going to have to keep your eye on Trill, see if he can utilize that operator fully, find the impact and the first bloods that he needs to.
We're getting down from the side of A-Long, but all the members of Team INAZUMA, they understand that, hey, he has an operator in his hand. Let's not go down towards the side of A-Long. Let's not try even hold it at the bare minimum so we can circumvent this operator as much as we possibly can. But now with the arrows going on down towards the back of side, Cone's going to be opting to go in for it. A beautiful arrow.
Oh.
Never mind, I take my words back. Cone is like, nah, I'm going to walk away slowly. No one saw anything. We didn't see a damn thing. Don't worry
So
about it,
that
CA.
lineup that he was trying, it's supposed to hit the edge of the roof right there. It's an average bonus lineup if I remember correctly. I know it because I do it all the time. But he aimed it right above the edge of the house, and that makes a huge difference as you can see. But back to the round, Shlokes is able to pick up one. Trill able to pick up another, and that operator in fact coming through is huge. They're gonna be able to hold on to A side, and INAZUMA, they're just completely unaware, but the kills come through.
Down A.
The trades do happen though, and it's fired up left in a
30
1v4.
seconds
He
left.
picks up one kill, but in a 1v3 his position revealed. There's no dice for him. 10-6. Insignia fighting back.
Really well as well to take a lot of these rounds. And what I loved about this round in particular was all these tripwires. The tripwires are placed so methodically that people rushing down into the side, if they have not already cleared out all the corners, if they don't know their exact positions, they're gonna hesitate rushing on down in, and their crosshair placement is still gonna be up high. And at that stage, having these low tripwires just gives you that sort of a massive advantage because you're not going to be ready for it. You're going to run in through that tripwire, allowing the teammates from the side of Team Insignia to just go in for easy kills based upon the information that the tripwires give. And with that, they should be able to find a lot of value down for their side, and but at the same time, fired up. He's ready, and he just wants this kill. Will he be able to find it is a real question. He does not, and his knives are not going to be coming on back. But at the same time, Spawn does get one, Lone does get another. It's going to be a 1-for-2 trade, so they're going to be really happy moving on down forward.
Descope? The paranoia is huge for Descope. He takes out the spike planter, now looking for the second, but swing and the one tap, that was nasty, man. Pick out Deathscope just like that. That's gonna hurt Deathscope. We'll make it a 3v2 for INAZUMA. The operator is still online though, and Trill knows where to expect. He's looking for Bone, but instead he finds Fired Up, pulls out the Blaze Storm, trying to go for the fight towards that long area. But with the spike dropped, he's gonna default back onto his operator and take the opponents out. Omkar though with the frenzy is able to pick up one, and Vikrant is really low here. Omkar gonna move in. Vikrant, you need to find the kill as soon as possible. The spike is still dropped, but no! Vikrant, he finds one, but Omkar with the frenzy will pick up the thrifty. That is gonna completely disrupt the momentum of Insignia aggressive. I think that might be the boost that INAZUMA need to push this over the finish line.
Honestly, Cone, he's the MVP for this round. That guy's headshots were just so clean. I really didn't expect him to hit that shot down onto Vikrant, but that headshot literally changed everything. Omkar going in for an easy trade was able to find out everything, but at the same time, CA, that was a little bit too close. We saw it on our screen, that was a massive lineup coming on down from him. But at the same time, Trill, he's just going for an easy shot fired up. Not going to be able to find that headshot though. And with that, Trill, he's going to be able to punish it beautifully with that operator. And with the first initial pick already going through in their favor and having no Jet in their arsenal could just be a massive disadvantage. But look at the Omen coming on down from the side of Insignia. It's slowly but surely holding her down all of the rotation angles, but they don't want to rotate. They just want to be like, go, go, go. We're going to rush on down in. And with the turret possibly spotting out the first initial player, Deathscope, he's actually going to be able to make it. He's going to walk on down into the side, and he's probably going to get away with murder pretty much as well. Vikrant coming in with that sheriff. He does get that first initial kill down onto one. Deathscope coming in from the back end flank is going to be able to take down two. Beautifully done, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what you expect coming on down from the side of Team Insignia down on their own defensive side. They're showcasing their prowess when it comes down to map control, and they're systematically taking down every single one of the INAZUMA players one by one.
Deathscope very aggressive there in his look, just walked in complete from garage to mid window and then just chilling there. The turret, as you said, worked in his favor, but at the end of the day, like that flank completely unchecked for INAZUMA, it ends up hurting them a lot. So they're gonna go back to their default. This Sova droning C-Long has been a default from the start of their attack. They're gonna use that to try and push him aggressively. This is their eco, but fired up as a weapon, and he's gonna make it count. He finds one kill. Let's go there to find the trade though. Gonna pull out the paranoia so that he can get some time. Use the ultimate to reposition himself. Try and get some info, and he gets the info that there's a turret over there towards that C lobby area. Now Spawn moving in aggressively, revealed by a trap fire, but the team is not there to cover Tippy's body in time, which will mean Spawn gets one kill, heals himself, able to get out, and he's causing so much chaos, and all the chaos he's causing means that his team gets to freely rotate onto him.
side is absolutely empty, other than Vikrant now making his way down towards that A side angle. And they need to be very careful making that push happen. With the Cypher's hat now going on up, it's gonna be good day to you, sir. And with all of your positions already revealed, this could be deadly. Down for their side, Vikrant not gonna be able to get that immediate kill down on the cone. Does get taken on down by Omkar. He's gonna be able to get that trade, and with the last two remaining members of the side of defense super low on health, this could be a very deadly affair, ladies and gentlemen, because now Deathscope, he can't miss a single shot. If he doesn't hit this versatile headshot, it's all but over for him. And Dying Sarah, to add insult to injury, slaps him in the face with a sheriff bullet. With that first initial kill, they're just gonna rotate. They're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna play it slow, we're gonna play it systematically. We know how dangerous you are, Slopesy. We are not gonna give you any chances to try and take a win out of this. 5 HP at this stage, not really much that he can do. Pulls out the classic, does get the first initial kill, and maybe this clutch is very much possible. 4 bullets, 3 bullets. He needs to go in for that headshot. That's the only thing that he can do. Halfway defuse goes on through, but Slopesy, pros don't fake. Yes, it can work, but at the same time, and when you're up against Omkar, that's not going to be working out in your favor. It's a match point now, ladies and gentlemen, for the side of Team INAZUMA. And it feels as though the amount of rounds that they lost out previously on the first half CA is coming back to bite them this time.
Yeah, that combined with the fact that the last 2 rounds they've lost in this second half were both pretty rounds. They seem to win when they don't have the eco advantage, but lose when they do have. And a lot of like credit for that really goes to Fired Up. The amount of space he's able to create, irrespective of what weapon he has, is absolutely insane for his team, because it allows them to play a lot more freely and forces Insignia to play a lot more reactively. Now Seaside left completely off guard. They're thinking about playing for the retake, but Shloxy just chilling in the smoke with a frenzy. He needs to try to find 1 kill. Instead, the plant is just going to go down. Insignia not contesting at all. Going to try to play for the retake. Paranoia coming out. They're pushing in. But the frenzy is not good enough. Shloxy not getting the kill. Instead, Fire Up takes him out. But the rest of his team is there in the backup. Deathscope, Tippy, and Vikrant each get a kill. And now it's Spawn spotted out. They dismiss revealing his location. It's Insignia keeping themselves alive. Just going left in an impossible 1v3.
The 1v3 is not something that we can win out easily. The Chalkrets are not going to be breaking it down properly either. Tippy gonna be able to get that kill down on the clone, and with such a beautiful play and such a beautiful retake as well. I thought it was already over because they made a massive gamble to set everyone down from the side of mid and also from the side of A short, but that play really worked out in their favor because they were able to go on down to a 5 versus 5 retake situation, and because they were so aggressive down already towards the side of mid, they can easily take the garage control, and before any of the members of the side of Team INAZUMA were able to take post-man positions, they just swarmed them in a matter of seconds using the Hunter's Fury, using all of the recon bolts and the shock darts beautifully to give them that entry down onto the sidelines. And with that, it's on a 12-8 scoreline. Team Insignia are going to be able to keep their tournament dreams alive. But considering what we have seen previously coming on down from the side of Team INAZUMA, we could just be looking at a possible 50 win for their side.
Going forward with the Hunter's Fury, he's able to take out Tippy, gets a massive tag on the right down mid. But Deathscope moving in, he's able to take him out. Finds a double kill actually. Deathscope able to get himself out of there as well. He's being chased down, but he does not die. A 3v2 now, as Spawn is able to find 1 trade, but Trill and the rest of the team is going to play it safe. I think they know that Spike is dropped towards mid, so they're trying to contest as much as possible. And with the location of Naik revealed as well, Insignia need to play this carefully, and they're doing exactly that. Moving together as a unit, they take out Nike Zara, and now they make it a 1v3 situation. Now Spawn does have 1 charge of the heal/dismiss left so long, so if he finds a kill he could do something, but it's not gonna happen. And an opportunity just not given. Trill takes him out. That's 12-9 for Insignia, and they're fighting back aggressive. 3 rounds more if they can pull off. We will go to overtime, but right now they need this particular next round, because for INAZUMA, in the next round, the buy will come through. They will have the weapons, but if Insignia can win this, then they will force an eco out of INAZUMA.
Remember what I said previously, that this game could just end on a 13-11 scoreline? I'm still gonna hold on to that, or it could just go into overtime if that does not happen. But honestly speaking, at this stage, I'm really looking to see what the side of Team Insignia are going to try to pull. And this time around, they're trying as aggressive as they possibly can. They want to go in for a couple of their plays, but at the same time, they need to be careful. Trill, he should have just dashed on out, but he got way too greedy, and Nike Zero is going to be the one to take him out and punish him massively for that small misplay. And with that, the first initial member has already gone down, and I think the caster's curse is just about to take effect.
Yeah, Trill just gambling a little too much there. His life going down will mean it's a 5v4 for INAZUMA. They have the Killjoy lockdown ready with the ult top picked up, and I think they're going to use exactly that to force their way onto site. Nike positioning himself down in that C-long cubby, waiting for the Sova recon to time out, while the rest of his team just takes a position elsewhere. This Killjoy lockdown actually going to be a fake. You can see fired up already, taking A control with the Sova moving towards it, but they now realize that C might just be completely empty. They're gonna pop the Empress, try to move in. That scope takes spawn out, but the trade is there for Nike Zera. All members of Insignia pulled onto the C. That fake is 100% success. It gives Nike a nice lurk position, but Shloxi is expecting it. He shuts him down. So the fake worked out. They will get the plant, but it is still a 3v3, a retake on the cards for Insignia.
It's a 3 situation on the map. Still anyone's game. Maybe we'll find it out is a real question. It's gonna be another play coming on down, but fired up. He's not gonna be able to get those headshots off. He has only 8 bullets. He needs to opt going for that reload, but the shots are gonna be raining on down beautifully. Oh, Car! He makes a difference happen, ladies and gentlemen, but still, it's Slogsy. You can never count this one guy out. 6 bullets left in the chamber. He's gonna be able to raid on down. The shoulder lineup, ending it off in style is gonna be the side of INAZUMA, ladies and gentlemen. 13-9. Didn't go down to a 13-11, but hey, I was close with my prediction going on through. Team INAZUMA, they did it so beautifully. They were able to take everything away at the very end. And at this stage, I have to say a really, really good commendable effort coming on down from the side of Team Insignia, but it felt as though they were gambling way too much, and you saw what happened in that last round. The fact that Trill made such a bold push just costed them the entire match.
Yeah, and Trill's going to be feeling the brunt of that decision. So I will say that he will get another opportunity. But looking at this scoreboard, man, 7 first bloods are fired up. It's exactly what we talked about. Like a spawn popping off in Ascent, we expected coming into Haven. It was fired up chance with the operator dominance that is usually shown on Haven. And he paid it off, man. Fired up coming up. Huge. But hey, let's not waste any time. Let's quickly go over to the match highlights because there's plenty of clips for us to watch and talk about what really happened in this map for Insignia. As you talked about earlier, Aggressive, the first half, it felt like Insignia were just forcing mid too much, and the number of rounds they lost really ended up costing them. I feel like maybe a sort of change in strategy could have come. I don't mind forcing mid and taking mid control. What I'm talking about rather is if you want to play around mid so aggressively, perhaps a better strategy would be to force mid a couple of times, play around B side, therefore making INAZUMA commit more resources to B, where we saw in a one round, they moved Nike Zera over to B. Once that happens, then you start attacking the A and C sides, sort of make INAZUMA feel the pain of not having a Cypher really on their team. That never happened, and Kone chiming in with his ultimates meant that Insignia were sort of suffocated in the attack. Their defense was clean, with the exception of the few individual mistakes, but in general, I feel like that no changing of strategy in the attack did end up costing them. Though a good showing by both of the teams, and this being just the first match of the entire group stage, I think both of these teams have enormous potential.
I completely agree with you on that. And hopefully, for the side of Team Insignia, they're gonna be able to use this as a learning experience and come back even stronger. Because honestly speaking, their Icebox just looks so beautiful, but when it comes to their other maps, it feels as though there's a massive communication gap between them, and that could just be they're not as comfortable still playing together as a unit down on those maps in particular. And hopefully they're gonna be able to find that level of communication and bring it back down to their sidelines. Because honestly speaking, you can agree with me, all of the Insignia players, they have cracked as hell aim. All of their shots are beautiful. All of their crosshair placements are just on point. All over the map, they're able to apply a lot of map presence, but the main problem from their side is that they're constantly trying to be a little bit too aggressive. You need to understand when you should be opting to go in for a push, when you should be playing it defensively. Because if you're not opting to do exactly that, then you are just playing into your opponent's hand. And if they're able to read into your aggression by using their own utility, they're going to be in a pretty tough spot. But for the side of Team INAZUMA, there's nothing more to say other than they are shining brighter than lightning.
I know where that quote is from, Aggressive.
No.
But hey, That's the end of the best of three between INAZUMA and Insignia. INAZUMA will be the first team to move on to the first place standings in Group A, and they will do so in a triumphant fashion. Now, we're not done just yet. There will be the analyst desk, so make sure you don't go anywhere. But while we go set up for that, go hit the like button, subscribe, get the notifications bell on, as well as check out all of the links. We'll take a small break and be back really quick with the analyst desk, with the rest of our talent, with the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. See you soon. Don't go anywhere.
Hey guys, and welcome back. This time we're here with the analyst desk. CA, that was absolutely crazy. Assassin, what are your thoughts on that best of three? We went to all three maps.
Well, definitely. I mean, I did not expect that game to be, going the distance. But at the same time, Insignia, they definitely gave a tough fight, and we definitely have a lot to talk about. I mean, what the hell was map number one Icebox, yeah?
Exactly.
I think
There was so much uncertainty, right? CA, break down map one for us and tell us what you're thinking. Yeah.
I I just feel like Inazuma were unprepared for Icebox perhaps because they don't look like the same team at all on Ascent or Haven as compared to Icebox, and that's completely understandable. Like for a new team, Icebox is not really the first map you're going to pick up. The more fundamental maps in Ascent, Haven, Bind is where we look at the new teams, and I feel like you got to see the real Inazuma in map 2 and map 3.
Indeed, this icebox here, we can see a few highlights and whatnot, but Insignia definitely showed them who was boss. And, for map 2, what are your thoughts here, Assassin? How do you feel about how map 2 went?
I mean, map number two, right? I guess it was a little bit of an experimentation phase for Insignia, in my opinion, because they went ahead and picked up the Astra on the map of Ascent. Now, I'm not really sure if that was the ideal pickup or not. Something with the composition, but things weren't looking good for Insignia. At the same time, INAZUMA, they're a bit more, they're a bit more comfortable with maps like Haven and Ascent. So maybe INAZUMA, they just went ahead and they got to know how exactly Insignia plays, and how exactly Insignia loves to defend, or just attack on towards a particular site as well. INAZUMA might be possible that map number one, they were just taking their sweet time into analyzing how exactly Insignia plays. But it can be the other way around, where Insignia were just really, really good. Like map number one, let me just quickly tell you that Shlogzi, who was the AMD player spotlight for the day from the side of Team Insignia, that guy, I still remember round number 6 when he went ahead and got himself like a double or a triple, and an amazing holdover towards the A side to get that third round of the board for Insignia. So something like that. Shlogzi, he was time and time again stepping up in map number 1, but that was absent in map number 2 as well as map number 3. So all of these star players from the side of Team Insignia, they suddenly, I don't know, they just turned themselves off for map number 2 and 3. And that might be possible because of the fact that the composition had a little bit of a change.
Oh, right. And CA, what was it that INAZUMA did in map number 3 that ultimately allowed them to seal the deal? What are your thoughts there?
I think coming into map 3, Insignia started to realize that, hey, we can't play the same game, but INAZUMA continuously one step ahead, and like you could see that coming over even from Icebox to Ascent and then Ascent onto Haven. The fact that INAZUMA, it felt like they were blossoming a little bit more after each map as the team. It felt like they were coming together closer, and the confidence especially was increasing. That level of confidence, the way it reached in the first half of Haven especially, just ended up meaning that they demolished Insignia. Like, the way they were winning certain rounds that were completely unwinnable. I think there was a 5v3 round that they won that they should never have won. These small things carried over with respect to the mind games, because it felt like Insignia were not really playing their full game and they were brought down a little bit. And this is how BO3s end up going. Like, the momentum shifts can be so paramount to which team end up actually winning. And the fact that INAZUMA was able to maintain their momentum, I think that's what got them the win at the end of the day.
Oh, right. And the question that we always have to ask, who was that one player from either from both sides, both teams, right? That really caught your eye, like your MVP or your player that you want to highlight. So, Assassin, you can begin from Insignia and INAZUMA.
Well, to be completely honest, right, if I do look back at map number 2 and 3, I guess from the side of Team INAZUMA, Fired Up actually stood out for me. Like, that guy just suddenly out of the blue activated himself and he started popping heads left, right, and center. And he definitely did a good job on the map of Haven, by the way. And I guess he definitely had himself some kind of Red Bull energy drink as well, because that guy was just going nuts. Like, the way he opened up spaces for the team as well, it was something that INAZUMA really, really badly wanted, and they got that as well.
Yeah.
So all in all, Fired Up, he definitely fulfilled his role, and he got that victory for the team as well.
All right. What say you, CA? Same question.
From INAZUMA, I would say Fired Up if there was no map 1, but the Viper just removes the question for me. Instead, I'm going to give it to Spawn. Like, I think he performed consistently in all of the maps. I feel like he is, the role of Spawn in this team is the pure fragger role, and he delivers every single time. The amount of space he's able to create in Ascent, especially, like the mid-top pushes, he was able to execute twice. The ace he was able to get, and then coming on to map 3, he was caught sleeping a couple of times, but when he's making the proactive push, when he's aggressive, he is on a level that you just cannot stop. And the Reyna, it just suits him so well. When it comes to Feast or Famine, I think Spawn is fully Feast. On the other side, though, for Insignia, I will say, like, who really stood out to me was Trill in the first 2 maps, but I think the pressure got to him a little bit in the third of the map. He started coming back in the second half, and you could see the pure talent that he really has. I want to see more of that, and I think I am excited to say that I think Trill will be one of the standout performers for Insignia in the future.
All right, so let's pull up, the group standings. This was the first match from Group A, INAZUMA and Insignia. Congratulations once again to INAZUMA for taking the win. And you can see that right up there, 1 win and 2 points. Unfortunate for Insignia, they didn't quite get this one today. But, you can definitely see the potential in the team. They're the new kids on the block. They came in, they took 1 map for themselves. So, that actually does... They have actually proved themselves in some sense. So, when it comes to Icebox, you gotta watch out for them. So Team Insignia, moving forward from this point on, CA, what is it that they would have to do differently if they want to, guarantee themselves a win?
I mean, I think I have to go back to what we talked about at the start of this entire best of three series on the analyst desk, which is I want them to play without pressure, like with full confidence. We got to see that on Icebox, and we saw the potential that this team can really be. On Ascent, it felt like they were caught off guard, and I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's completely understandable. That's the pick of INAZUMA, and therefore they're likely to be comfortable. But on Haven, they had the right ideas coming in. It just felt like they were not decisive enough to push them all the way through. There were multiple rounds where they had full mid control and they could easily just force the B side because of the fact that they had control in other aspects of the map as well. B side usually hard to play because it's easy to retake, but when you have control of the rest of the map, then you can easily flank and have a good post plant. And that level of decisiveness is what I want to see Insignia really carry moving forward. Believe in yourselves because you definitely have got that talent.
All right. So Team Insignia, moving forward from here, we wish you guys all the best because the competition is not over. Now, as for Team INAZUMA, spectacular performance. How do you think Team INAZUMA is going to move from here on out as Assassin as the gauntlet progresses?
Well, definitely. I mean, see, INAZUMA, they're going to be very happy with that victory against Team Insignia, and I guess INAZUMA from here on out they are going to keep up with the momentum, and at the same time, I don't actually want them to get ahead of themselves a little bit because this specific group, like we do have some of the behemoths playing like Godlike Esports, we've got Global Esports, and of course Force One Esports as well, who definitely have that added advantage when it comes to the experience in this specific game as well. INAZUMA, despite having that FPS experience from the past, they definitely still have a lot of basics to just sharpen up in terms of Valorant skills and abilities. So they definitely have to work on that, and I guess they shouldn't have a problem, standing at the top 5 in the specific group as well.
All right, congratulations once again, Team INAZUMA. First match, and it's a win for you guys. Now, this brings us to the end of the first half. I just want to pull up today's matches real quick, let you guys have a look. So we have come to the conclusion, Team INAZUMA, they managed to secure a point for themselves. And coming up later in the second half, it is going to be Tempest going up against Global Esports. Tempest, a team that we know, Global Esports, they have tasted what it's like to be a champion. So at 7:30 p.m. IST, we hope to see you guys. Remember, this is the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. So do like and subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notifications when we do go live. Remember to take care, have a great time gaming, and we hope to catch all of you later.